Hey there, guys! Grab your hand sanitizer and a bucket of popcorn, and welcome to a brand new Flick Pick live show. And I hope everyone's doing okay. And most importantly, I hope you guys are washing your hands, staying safe, and quarantining yourself inside of your houses, away from society, because that's what I've been doing for many, many years, and it's worked out thus far. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about today, and at the very end of the live show, we'll dive into the random Q&A stuff. But there's so many delayed movies. Things are changing, things are getting canceled, and it's just a crazy, bizarre time to be alive right now. And pretty soon, the most quiet place will be the movie theater, unfortunately. So, yeah, I don't even know where to start with this. But yeah, it's scary. It really is scary. And but you have to you got to stay positive. And what I wanted to do, typically I don't usually do these live shows on Saturdays. Is that which day it is? Yeah, Saturday. I usually do them on Tuesday. But you know what? I figured everyone's a lot of you aren't going to school. Colleges kicked you out. You have to go home now, and you're not really supposed to leave your house, and everything else is shutting down. So I figured you guys could look at my stupid face for the next couple hours as the lowest form of entertainment you'll probably ever get. But hey, it's better than nothing. So yeah, I wanted to dive into the delayed movies, give you guys my thoughts on them, what's going on, and hi, Russ Rogers. Hi, Joshua Garrison, a couple YouTube members. So thank you guys for joining me. And yes, we're going to talk all about every delayed movie thus far. And there's going to be more, many, many more films being delayed. But these are just the initial ones. But yeah, I would assume probably for the next three months or so, every major film that was supposed to come out will probably be getting delayed. And who knows, it could even go further than that. But yeah, big thanks to Jason for the first super chat. Hey John, it's 2 a.m. in the UK. I'm severely drunk. Here's $10 to show how much I appreciate you. Well, thank you for that very much. And yeah, drinking might might be a good idea right now. Whatever keeps you inside is a good idea. And plus alcohol, it's a sanitizer. So if you're going to get drunk, take a little of the alcohol, down it, rub a little bit on your face, on your hands, whatever you got to do. Because right now, Germex is $47.99 on eBay. It's crazy. And you can't find toilet paper. That's the craziest thing. And I do want to talk all about toilet paper and Germex at some point in this live show. Yeah, so let's just dive into the delayed movies. And I never thought this was going to happen. Who would have ever thought just 3 weeks ago we would be talking about this? But here we are now. So yeah, the first delayed movie I want to talk about is Mulan. So this is based on the 1998 animated film, and it was supposed to come out March 27th, but right now it's been postponed with no new release date. And I think that was the smartest move. Now, I always thought this was going to be the first film out of every film that would be delayed initially, because this is like Disney's tentpole movie of like the springtime. I consider March springtime. And this is going to do huge numbers overseas, especially in China, and because that's the setting of the film. And I think when they realized that they couldn't release the film there, no one was going to go see it overseas, which is where they're going to get the majority of the box office for this movie. I was surprised they didn't pull the plug on this movie weeks ago, but yeah, this was just recently announced. So here's my quick thought on Mulan. When it comes to the animated film, I was never a huge fan. Like, I own it. I own Mulan 1 and 2 back there on DVD. I bought it like 10 years ago at some pawn shop. It was covered in dirt. But yeah, I never watched them. As a kid, I watched this movie like 2 times, and I never really liked it. I was always more of like an Aladdin guy, or Lion King, or even Little Mermaid. I would go so far as to say I actually prefer Little Mermaid over Mulan. But yeah, that's the first movie being postponed, which wasn't a surprise to me. And then we have Fast and Furious 9. Now, when it comes to the Fast and Furious movies, I think they've gotten worse with every installment. I mean, these started out as street racers stealing VCRs out of the back of a truck. Now they're action superstars that are essentially the new version of the Avengers who drive cars and can do whatever. No rules of gravity or logic apply to these movies, and they're a big, dumb, stupid time. And it's okay to have that. I just think they're movies that don't matter. It's like you go to see this movie, things happen, but they don't matter. So yeah, this has been delayed until not just a few months. They delayed this movie until next year. So the new Fast and Furious 9 film, by the way, it's just crazy to think we're on Fast and Furious 9. Well, it's like, how did we get there? I don't know. But it's delayed until April 2nd, 2021. That's a long time. To be honest, I think I think whoever decided that release date was being the most realistic of all these releases, because they're like, we're not going to delay it 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. They're like, we need a year. And I think that's the wisest decision, because what's happening right now, I don't think is going to be cleared up in a few weeks. I actually, on a negative note, I actually think it's going to get worse. As the old saying goes, it's always just darkest before the dawn, but the dawn is coming. I once saw a ruby the size of a tangerine. But yeah, it's more expensive than rubies now? Toilet paper. Yeah, so I think they were smart delaying this movie a year. I think we're going to need a year to finally return to how everything is, because I do think if you think it's bad now, give it a few more months. It's probably going to be worse. But that's okay. It's okay. We'll be okay. We will go on. But yeah, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on some of these. What do you guys think? The Fast and Furious movies are just too crazy now. I agree. They're almost mind-numbing to the point where you feel like you're looking at some abstract form of art flying across the screen. It's like, what's happening? Flatground 900, thank you for the super chat. I went to 10 different stores today and no toilet paper. Yeah, just yesterday I went to 5 different stores, and then we went to one today. There's no paper towels, there's no toilet paper, there's no hand soap. It's crazy, but there is plenty of frozen pizza. So load up on that. That is what's going to keep us alive as the human race, or at least me. Frozen pizza. Load up on it now. You heard it here. That's the best advice I'll ever give you. Yeah. So yeah, let's keep going down the list here of delayed movies. The next one is A Quiet Place 2. This was probably my most anticipated movie of the upcoming movies, and I was really looking forward to this, and it's delayed, and there's no new release date. But man, and I think this was delayed for a few reasons. Obviously, because box office attendance and theater attendance are going to be lower, but also because it's a post-apocalyptic film where everyone's gone, and it's sort of they're wandering around the desolate wastelands trying not to die. And I think that's a little bit too reminiscent of what's going on now. But then again, I mean, I would like to watch that in the comfort of my house. And we're going to talk about streaming in just a second. Hi, Russ Rogers. Hey, thank you for the cool emojis. Thank you for that. And the next one I want to talk about is No Time to Die, which was one of the first films initially announced for being delayed. And that was where I was like, okay, they're not going to release No Time to Die until November, but I guarantee no other movies are going to be delayed, and then subsequently every single film after that will be delayed. So yeah, it's coming out November 25th, 2020, and to be honest, these new release dates almost don't really mean much to me. It might come out, it might not. I have a feeling if things don't pick up and get better, it could be delayed indefinitely, or it might just come out to streaming. And we'll talk about the streaming in just one second. I see some questions about that. Are you scared of the CV? Yeah, a little bit. I've always been a germaphobe. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been weird about germs. And I have a good feeling at some point, if you're just normal and active in your everyday life and you don't quarantine yourself in your house wearing a hazmat biosuit, the odds are in the next couple of years or the next year, there's a likelihood that you will get it. But the good news is if you're young, you're healthy, you don't have a pre-existing condition, you'll be just fine. And some people are just having very mild symptoms like a cold or a slight cough that lasts a few days. So I don't think it'll be as bad as everyone. The symptoms won't be as terrible. You won't be puking blood, hopefully. But it's still, nobody wants to deal with that. I don't want the flu. I've had the flu many times in my life, and every time I get it, I lay in the fetal position in my house for 6 days eating chicken noodle soup, just waiting for it to pass. Yeah, we're going to talk about Black Widow in just one second. And last, but finally probably least, New Mutants cannot catch a break. This is, I think, the 4th time this movie has been delayed. It's been in This film was originally in production back in like 2016, and it was supposed to come out in 2017. Then it was supposed to come out in 2018. So now we're in 2020, and it's delayed once again. So yeah, I don't think this movie's ever going to come out. It's cursed. And by the time the movie does come out, I don't think anyone cares. This is just every thought in this film is sort of an afterthought at this point. And it has Maisie Williams in it. I loved her in Game of Thrones. And it was supposed to come out April 3rd. And now there's rumors floating around that New Mutants might just finally come out on some streaming service. I think it might come out on Hulu, even though I think it may be owned technically by Disney by this point, which coming out on Disney Plus would make sense. But I've heard rumors that it actually will come out on Hulu at some point, which I'm fine by that. Hey, I think that's a smart choice. And I think right now, if you have this movie sitting on the shelf, it's ready to go. It's not necessarily the biggest tentpole release of the year. I think releasing a film like this on a streaming service will do really well because everyone right now is trying to stay home and they need some entertainment. And I would love to watch this movie. And plus, I do need some new movies to review because, well, there aren't any. like pretty much what I have back here is what I have to review. And that's okay by me. I don't mind staying inside and watching all the Blu-rays I own. And I've been saying this for years, guys. Buy physical media. You're going to need it one day in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. And guess what? That's why I stocked up for so many years. You wait until your internet goes out. What are you going to do then? I have these bad boys back here to watch. I'll be just fine. I'll watch these with my frozen pizza. Should we watch pandemic movies like Contagion or Outbreak? I've never seen them. Yeah, if you want to be paranoid and afraid, sure, go ahead. But then again, I think watching those movies those are the worst case scenarios. And after you watch those films, you'll sit back and be like, okay, things aren't that bad. They're not quite that bad. On a side note, I did just start watching Outbreak last night. It's on Netflix, right? Yeah, I watched like the first 25 minutes of it. It's such a 90s movie, just like the score and the way it's filmed. But it's a great film. It has Dustin Hoffman in it. But yeah, I need to finish Outbreak. Mob Cult. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, Mob Cult, but you didn't ask a question. But thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'd stream New Mutants. New Mutants is in release hell. I love you, John. Well, I love you too. Watch World War Z. Yeah, this is sort of like the closest thus far in my lifetime we've gotten to the zombie apocalypse, and it's sort of crazy. I mean, instead of zombies, we just have people with the flu staying at home. But yeah, in a way, it's sort of reminiscent, isn't it? It's just crazy to me. It really is. Roberto Plasinkia. You know I can't read. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, John, on the topic of pandemics, ever played TLOU? If you are excited for the announced HBO series, who would you cast as Joel and Ellie? The Last of Us. Yes, yeah. Okay, sorry. I didn't know what the initials meant for like 5 seconds. My brain is just mush, guys. There's so much going on today. So The Last of Us. I knew that was going to be a series. Actually, I thought it was going to be a movie at one time. As far as the cast goes, I thought they released the cast of who would play Joel and Ellie. Essentially, if you've seen Logan, that's sort of like another rendition of The Last of Us, isn't it? I mean, how close can you get in similarities? Hugh Jackman looks like the main character from that game, and so did the little girl, except, he's Logan instead. I'm not sure who I would cast. I would have, if it wasn't too on the nose, I'd probably would have cast Hugh Jackman. Outbreak is stupid. Yes, Gambit X. It's very 90s, and I sort of like. I watched 25 minutes, like I said, and I was like, that's almost enough for me. I would rather watch like World War Z or I don't know, Day of the Dead or something. I don't know. Zach Potter. Thank you for the super chat, Zach. Hey, John. I've been watching since your Fast 5 Steelbook unboxing, and I wanted to ask you, what are your current setup for watching movies at home? Well, thank you, Zach. Thank you for that. And by the way, I think on I think oddly enough, in that Steelbook unboxing I made like 10 years ago almost, I'm wearing rubber gloves eating a banana. I don't ask why I do what I do. I just do it. But yeah, so thank you for that. My current setup right now is I have an LG 65-inch QLED TV. I watch those with a 4K Blu-ray player typically, but right now, I'll give you guys an update. I'm doing a special video with this really cool LG projector that they sent me. And it's like a 4K projector, and I will be doing a movie night episode watching Parasite. So that'll be like the next movie night episode, and guess what? With no new movies coming out, it's probably coming a lot sooner than later. And I will be making a very special update video for my main channel, the Flick Pick, talking all about updates and things that will be going down and some more thoughts. But yeah, that's my current setup. Alex Guzman, thank you for becoming a member here on YouTube. Thanks, man. For Antlers or Ozark, I'm looking forward to the new season of Ozark, which comes out in a week or two. I love it. I love Ozark. I actually thought season 2 was... No, I think season 1 was better. But I'm also watching Better Call Saul, season 5, and I love that show. Whoever thought we'd get to like season 5 of Better Call Saul, and I've heard they're actually going to do a season 6 of the show as well. Sleekbeak. Good Time versus Uncut Gems. I could go back and forth on that. I loved Good Time. It was a very surprising, entertaining movie for me, and I thought Robert Pattinson in that film was sort of the first time I watched Robert Pattinson and thought of him as a real actor. And that's the movie that sort of sold me on him becoming Batman. But yeah, Uncut Gems just gives me anxiety. Like, it gives me more anxiety than when I go to the grocery store and I have to hold the dirty shopping cart right now. That's how much anxiety that movie gives me. But I have Uncut Gems right there, and I'm going to do a Blu-ray update video talking all about it. So also look out for that video. A lot of videos coming. I actually don't mind no new releases. I have plenty of other ideas I want to make. So it's sort of... the silver lining to this dark cloud is I do have a lot of ideas I can finally make now and not be bogged down or obligated to talk about like the new shitty Vin Diesel movie. So that's kind of fun. Sue Young, thank you for the super chat. I don't know what is W5000. Is that like 15 cents in some other country? I don't know, but thank you. John, be careful of CV. What are your thoughts on Ana de Armas as her upcoming movies? What is her upcoming movie? My brain is just mush today. She was in Knives Out. She's in No Time to Die. Okay, and she was in War Dogs. Yeah, actually, she was great in Knives Out. I thought she stole that entire movie. Like, she felt like the perfect casting choice for that film. I actually, that was the first time I really took notice of her as like an actress in a movie. Like, I've seen her in other movies, but Knives Out was the first time I really noticed her, and I was like, wow, she's really good. Like, if you put her in the right role, she's very convincing. I thought she was amazing in Knives Out. That was a great performance, and also a really enjoyable movie. I watched it on 4K Blu-ray last week, and I rather enjoyed it. I was very surprised by that. So good job, Ryan Johnson. Direct more whodunit murder mystery, my most anticipated movie of 2021, and it's Warner Brothers' The Batman, and it has a 2-week delay right now for production. So I get it. They're being safe. They're going to see how it plays out, what they should do, and I think that's what everyone should be doing right now. Just take a break. Just stay inside for 2 weeks. You don't need to go anywhere. Give it 2 weeks, and it's either going to get better or it's going to get a lot worse. So we'll probably forget about it, or it'll be total chaos and anarchy. But either way, they have a delay right now, and right now they're saying that this 2-week delay will not delay the release date of The Batman. But then again, a lot of things can happen over the next year. But yeah, I guess it's just good news they didn't delay the movie an extra year or something crazy like that, like Fast and Furious is doing. I actually just lost the chat. There it is. Okay. Do an Arnie impression. What are you doing over there? Washing your hands or something? Oh, that's all I got. All right. I'm a cybernetic organism. Judgment Day would be July 7th, 1997. All right, Mike McCarty. Thanks for the super chat, Mike. Hey, John, have you seen Amazon's The Boys? Can we expect any possible videos talking about it? I'd like to hear your thoughts on the series. Thanks. Yeah, I did watch some of The Boys. My girlfriend Amber actually watched all of it. She thought it was okay. I watched a few episodes, and I just could not get into it. I was like, I get what they're going for. It's mildly entertaining, but I just don't care. And I did watch actually the last episode. I did watch the episode. I watched the cliffhanger, and it's a brutal show. It definitely goes for it. And it did a few things I wasn't expecting, but it just it wasn't what I just didn't care. I just wasn't that into it. You know, I'm more about shows like Ozark or Better Call Saul right now. Those are kind of the shows I enjoy watching. And I was all about Game of Thrones until the final season. Dylan Inks, John, favorite to least favorite public gyms. Oh man, you know, public gyms right now are a scary place, and typically I go to the gym maybe 3-4 times a week, but right now I'm taking a break from the gym. I just think it's smart not to go lay in other people's sweat. Like, if ever you were not going to do that, I think now is the time. So yeah, I'm not going to the gym right now, and it's baffling to me that, and it's fine, you know, if gyms want to stay open and people want to go for it, but just don't get me sick, you know. So it's crazy to me that people won't go to the movie theater, and movies are shutting down because if you go to the theater, you sit in a seat, but yet gyms are open where there's hundreds of people and they just lay in each other's sweat. Isn't that baffling? Doesn't the logic not make any sense? So yeah, right now, instead of going to the gym, what I would recommend doing is work out at home or go on some hikes. That's what I'm going to do. I'll go walk out in nature and hike around. That'll be my form of exercise for the next couple of weeks. Joker or Taxi Driver? Probably Taxi Driver, because I think without Taxi Driver, you probably wouldn't have Joker, since it borrowed a lot of the blueprint from Taxi Driver. So I prefer Taxi Driver, though I really did enjoy the Joker. The Woman in the Window or Spiral? I don't know. Oh, Spiral, Book of Shadows? Saw book? What is Spiral? Is that the new Saw movie? I don't know. Yeah, as far as the new Wonder Woman movie not being delayed yet, I think it's going to happen. I think any day now, Disney's going to come out and say, hey, the Black Widow movie... Did I say Wonder Woman? I'm sorry. I meant Black Widow. So I think any day now, Disney's going to come out and say Black Widow is delayed. I think they're just waiting. I think a lot of people are just waiting 2 weeks to see what happens, what plays out. Before they make their final decision. But I think it will be delayed. Until when? Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Cobra Kai Season 3. Absolutely cannot wait. Sweep the leg. Yes, sensei. I would definitely be Cobra Kai. Yeah, I'm waiting for it. I loved it. I loved Season 2. I loved that final sequence. For 20 minutes, kids are fighting karate in the school. And then it gets really violent. And he gets kicked off the side of the balcony. But... yeah, I can't wait for Cobra Kai. Night King 01, thanks for the super chat. Favorite John Woo movie? Man, where do I start with that? I want to say maybe Face Off. Maybe Face Off. Ooh-wee, I'm good looking. I'd probably go with Face Off. I think his worst movie is probably Mission Impossible 2, but I also enjoy Broken Arrow. Gosh, Broken Arrow is really good. But it doesn't have Nicolas Cage in it. I want to take his face off. Yeah, I'm going to go with Face Off. You can't top Face Off. You just can't do it. John, how did you go about working out when you started? I've talked about that many times. You just go. You know what you do. You just go to the gym. You go up and down the rows. You use the machines if you don't know what you're doing. On each machine at the gym, there's a little symbol, a little diagram of how to use the machine. You just do it. Work every muscle group out. Eventually, you'll get the hang of things. and you'll pick up on it. But that's how I started. You know, I knew a little bit about working out. Like in high school, I knew like dumbbell curls and bench press. That's all you did in high school. But when I first started going to the gym, I just went up and down the rows, working every body part out. And then I focused on what worked for me and just started doing dedicated days for each muscle group. And that's how I started. Damn5271, thanks for the super chat. How are you, John? I'm pretty good. I'm okay. How are you guys doing? How is everyone doing? What are you guys doing dealing with this? I can't actually say the name of it because this live stream will probably be demonetized, but how are you guys doing? I'm doing okay. You know, just trying to find toilet paper, stocking up on some groceries, and I have a little bit of Germex that was in my car from like a month ago, so I think I'll be okay. By the way, guys, it's crazy out there. They're hoarding things that don't need to be hoarded. We don't have a shortage of toilet paper. There is no shortage of food. There's no shortage of paper towels. There's no shortage of anything that you're hoarding up on. It'll be okay, guys. Go to the store once a week like you typically would to buy enough paper tissue to wipe your ass with, and then go the next week, and it'll be there. You don't need 87 rolls. This isn't going to last 15 years. You're not living in the bunker under the ground, okay? It'll be okay. So, yeah, it's crazy to me. And the other thing that irritates me is people buying it to sell it on eBay and Amazon, which I think eBay and Amazon stepped in and they said you can no longer price gouge like that in the state of an emergency, which is good. Good on them. Yeah, but it's insane. Favorite Nightmare on Elm Street? I would probably go with the first one. I always thought that was the most terrifying one. And then outside of that, I always enjoyed the opening sequence in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. It's a terrible movie. It has some weird undertones, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 with Jesse. But yeah, I like the opening scene with the school bus, and it ends up on that cliff rocking back and forth. Every time I got on the school bus as a kid, I always imagined my bus driver becoming Freddy Krueger, and the bus just like not stopping, and I'm the only guy on the bus, and it just like, I always had that thought early in the morning on the school bus. Cash the Killa. Hey, Cash the Killa, and thanks for the super chat. Warrior is better than Rocky. Fight me. Nah. You weren't there. You weren't there when my mother was on her hands and knees in the house without heat, puking up blood. Nah, you were somewhere getting drunk. So why don't you take your war stories down to the VFW, because maybe they'll give a damn. That's my Tommy impression from Warrior. I love Warrior, man. I think it's probably the best modern day Rocky-esque underdog fighting movie for a new generation. Dude, and Warrior is one of those movies that inspired me to start working out. Tom Hardy's traps alone inspired me to start working out. I love Warrior. I don't think it's better than Rocky. Rocky is iconic, and it paved the way for all the underdog fighting movies after it. You can make the claim or the argument that there's a few before it that it borrowed from, but Rocky to me is the pinnacle of the fighting boxing film. But yeah, and I also in Warrior, I love it's a real nice thing we did for that boy in that tank, Tommy. I always I forget his name. I forget the actor's name. I forget his name. Anyway, let's continue on here. Alexander Lowe, thanks for the super chat. And by the way, thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you so much. YouTube gives me nothing, and it does make these live streams possible because it helps pay the internet bill and purchase energy drinks to keep me alive, as well as hand sanitizer, which we all need to stay alive now. Hey, John, favorite Friday the 13th film? I always thought I liked the one with Corey Feldman. I always get the numbers mixed up. Is that part 4 with little Corey Feldman when he shaves his head? Which Friday the 13th is that? And one guilty pleasure of mine, and it's the worst Friday the 13th film, but also slightly enjoyable for the 10 minutes that it takes place in Manhattan as Jason takes Manhattan. Now, 98% of that movie actually takes place on a boat going to Manhattan because they had no money to spend, and then like 10 minutes of the movie takes place in Manhattan. But I love how corny it is. I love when Jason Voorhees is walking down the streets and those dudes are playing their boombox. I love that. And also when he punches the guy's head off and it falls into a gutter and then into a dumpster. That's quality cinema. Thank you. Have you seen Hunters on Prime Video? I don't think I have seen Hunters on Prime Video. Smash the like. Thanks, Odin, from Odin's Movie Blog, also my co-host on my Patreon exclusive podcast. Thank you for that. Yeah, guys, if you guys can give the video a like, it does help the stupid YouTube algorithm. It does help a lot of things. So it's, that's all I really ask. Just click that like button. That's it. And then just look at my stupid face and click the like button. That's all you have to do. It makes me feel warm and good inside. It gives me the little tingles all over my body. Claudio Rogojan. Thanks, Claudio. And Claudio's a longtime supporter here. Have you seen Hard Boiled? Best gunfights ever. Yeah, I did see Hard Boiled, but that was back in, I want to say high school, and I don't remember a lot about it. I know it's a great John Woo movie. To really talk about it, I don't remember all the details, but I do remember some of the gunfights and action sequences, and thinking that's pretty awesome. But yeah, and that's what really made me sort of realize who John Woo was. I mean, I always watched like Broken Arrow and Face Off as a kid, and then Mission Impossible 2. But yeah, that was the movie that I watched and then was like, okay, this is John Woo. I get what's happening here. Night King 01, thanks for the super chat. Have you ever seen John Woo's Hard Boiled? Also the same question. Like I just said, I give you my answer, but thank you for the super chat. Creed is better than Warrior. Creed is a great boxing movie. There's nothing wrong with it, but Creed is essentially a duplicate of exactly what Rocky did, and Creed 2 is a duplicate of what Rocky 2 did. So they're just copying the exact same blueprints and filling in the gaps. But Creed was a great movie. I was really surprised by Creed. And the funny thing is, I have not watched Creed 2 since I watched it in the theater, and I have the 4K back there. All right, you know my name. Also, a very good Chris Cornell song, the Casino Royale James Bond theme, the best one in my opinion. Just gets me pumped up. I remember having that on my playlist for the gym. It made me feel like James Bond in the gym as I curled. Hello, John. Would you consider streaming on Twitch? I would love to see you play some Call of Duty, talking random stuff, and of course, movies. I've considered that, and I actually did heavily consider doing that back in 2015 and 2016. I did create a Twitch. I never actually made a video, and the reason was I'm not that hardcore into video games. Like, I like playing some retro video games, some classic games, and I do occasionally like playing newer games. Like, I haven't actually played a new game in 3 years, I'm not going to lie to you. But I did enjoy Call of Duty, except for the times you run into a room where you had a really good kill streak, and some little kid with a high-pitched voice is laying on his belly, camping in a corner, and he shoots you, and then you scream, you break your controller, you punch yourself in the head, and you jump out the window. But other than that, I do enjoy video games. And I did almost consider making a Twitch. But yeah, it's, that's a possibility. And right now, if things continue the way they're continuing and new movies keep getting delayed and we're all going to be in our houses 24/7, quarantined away from society, which I don't mind, that's a possibility because I'll have even more downtime on my hands and that could happen. And I guess I could play the newest games and just talk and keep up with you guys and talk about other random stuff as I play the game. Yeah, that's a possibility. I would love right now if I had Twitch. I would probably be playing Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I think you guys know why, but it's probably what I would be playing. Mike McCarty, thanks for the super chat, Mike. I'm an active duty army. What is your favorite military film and why? Not counting Saving Private Ryan. Man, that is my favorite. When it comes to war movies, I'm sure you want like a modern war film. I think Jarhead honestly is an underrated film. I really enjoy Jarhead. That to me was I I'm not in the military, but I know people who are, and they said that's a very good representation of how the military sort of really is. Um, and so yeah, I'd probably go Jarhead. That's one of mine. Also, Full Metal Jacket. But when it comes to Full Metal Jacket, really honest, like it's one of those movies where I think it has a phenomenal first act, and everyone remembers the first act of that movie where they're in boot camp and they're training. Hey, Joker, those things, and no one really remembers the second half of that movie. So I like the first part of Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. It's like that movie kind of blew its load very quickly in that first act. But yeah, thanks, Mike. Thank you for your service, Mike, and thanks for watching, man. Beach Bum 0331, have you seen Dragged Across Concrete with Mel Gibson or Shot Caller with Jamie from Game of Thrones? I have not seen Shot Caller with Jamie from Game of Thrones. Dragged Across Concrete, did I see that? Dragged Across Concrete. I don't think I watched Dragged Across Concrete. No, I did not watch that. That was in 2018. Police partners descend into the criminal underworld after they are suspended for assaulting a suspect on video. No, I actually didn't watch Dragged Across Concrete. Huh. Did you guys like it? Was it a good movie? Oh man, thank you guys all for the super chats. I'm trying to catch up now. Thank you so much. You guys are. Oh, thank you for that. I love you guys. If I could, and if you guys didn't have CV, I would douse you all in Germex and keep you in my house right now. We could all watch movies together and eat popcorn. But I would probably run out of toilet paper, so then we're just gonna have to figure it out. Jamin D, thank you for the super chat. Hey John, you ever think about reviewing 70s, 80s older movies, especially now that new movies are now getting delayed? As I love watching your movie reviews and shows, so would love to know your thoughts on older movies. It's funny you say that because right now the possibilities are endless. Everyone else that talks about movies is sort of freaking out. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that new movies aren't coming out. It does suck, and this whole situation sucks. I think delayed movies are sort of the least of my worries in the grand scheme of everything. But as a guy who talks about movies on the internet, yeah, there's a lot of ideas I've had. There's one big idea that I wanted to do. It's a sort of a series, and I'm talking to a few people who might be able to help me with it. But that's one thing I do want to work on. This gives me an opportunity and time to do it. And also, I do want to do more of these live streams because I truly enjoy this. This is one of the reasons I started YouTube in the first place, was to engage with people and, not just make a pre-recorded video and edit the hell out of it and upload it, a 5-minute video. This is what I like doing, guys. This is, I think, what YouTube is all about. Me talking to you guys talking and engaging in a conversation. This is the funnest thing for me when it comes to YouTube. So if you guys would like to see more live streams, let me know, give the video a like, and I can probably do at least a couple of these a week instead of just one. And we can talk about anything in the future. Dark Side Doshi, I wish Avatar 2 was out now. It would be bomb. Yeah, well, the good news is, if they keep going the course they're going, Avatar 2 will come out in about 2050, and by then the zombie apocalypse will have happened. But I think, yeah, Avatar 2, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I would love if any of these movies that were supposed to come out this next few weeks hit streaming, and they would blow up on streaming. Now, the biggest issue would be people would pirate them instantaneously, which would hurt, but also at the same time, there's a lot of people, I know how to do that, but I wouldn't do it because I want to watch a good quality version of the movie, or I want to support the studios. And I think right now, if some studios released a few big films to streaming services, that right now, with everyone being at home and people who didn't have these streaming services, they would definitely get them because you're at home, there's nothing better to do. I think they would blow up right now. And I think if ever they were going to test that theory, New Mutants would be the smartest move to make. And I think if New Mutants releases on a streaming service instead of in theaters or getting delayed for another 6 months, and if that does well, I think that'll pave the way for other big releases that won't come out in theaters to possibly hit streaming services. So, yeah, it's crazy, right? We're living in a crazy time right now, and I'm really interested to see how this all works out, and I wonder how long movie theaters can stay open because there's no new releases. So why would people go to the movie theater? And plus, they're, with everything being contagious, it's probably not the smartest place to go. But yeah, I would like to watch Avatar 2 right now. That would take me to my happy place. Just watching 9-foot-tall blue aliens making love under trees. I'd watch that. Walking Violence, thanks for the super chat, man. Can we get the American Psycho intro as Nick Cage? I don't use alcohol because it dries out my hands, and plus I can't buy any Germex right now. That wasn't very good, was it? I was trying to make it a little bit topical with Nicolas Cage meets American Psycho. I'm sorry. By the way, speaking of Nicolas Cage, how do you guys like the new GIF that's popping up with every super chat? I love it. That right there, just if you watch Nicolas Cage smiling into the distance with the wind breezing through his hair, how do you forget about all the problems in life? At least I do. Dan5271. Hey, T2, the best movie of all time? It's in my top 20 movies of all time, and I would actually say T2 is... You could say it's arguably, but I would just correct you and say no, it's the best. T2 is the best action film of all time. Every action sequence in that film still holds up today. It's better than most action sequences by today's standards. Practical effects, they actually really did these things, and they have a great, captivating storyline in between all that. And plus you have Arnold, the best action star ever, and as a kid I was always so jealous of young John Connor, Edward Furlong, riding on that motorcycle with the T-800, his protector from the future. I was so jealous. I always wanted to be him. Like, could you imagine sitting in front of Arnold riding on a big motorcycle? That'd be... Why is that a weird fantasy I've always had? Don't judge me. Oh yes, by the way, guys, I have a new saying now. You guys know my old saying, but here's the new one. This is it. Don't get sick now. That's my new saying. Joshua, have you ever played the Friday the 13th game? I have played it. I played it for like 15 minutes. And you walk around as Jason Voorhees, and you walk at the pace of molasses, and you kill people. And it's just like, after 10 minutes, I was like, I got my fix. I'm good. Let's go play some Zombies Ate My Neighbors or something. Or let's play F-Zero on the SNES Classic. Thomas Headley. Thanks for the super chat, Thomas. Hey, John. Here's money for toilet paper. With the rumors that Universal is going to remake/reboot Jaws, who would you cast in the remake? Stay badass. Well, thanks. Thank you for that, Thomas. That will help buy toilet paper and frozen pizzas in this time of crisis. So I do appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you guys for just joining and watching right now. So, who do I think they'll cast in the new Jaws movie? I don't know. Who knows if half these movies that are in pre-production right now will actually come out? Because delaying movies changes a lot of things. It changes everything, actually. And if right now these corporations, these studios, predict that this is going to last a year, maybe 2 years, are you really going to jump into production on a movie that costs $200 million to release it into a theater that no one's going to go to? I don't know. But on a side note, and this just randomly came to me as I was babbling, maybe films now will focus more on the streaming platform, and maybe we'll get more small budget films, but they're original films. That could be a possibility. That could be the new model, the new formula for Hollywood to avoid the theater and to avoid the box office. I don't know. I just, like I said, this is a crazy time. You know, I don't know which direction things are going to go. But yeah, as far as casting someone in the new Jaws film, you have to. Well, if they're gonna sort of remake it, you have to sort of have the same similar characters. So you have the scientist, you have the sheriff of the town, and then you have the kooky captain of the boat. So I don't know who would make a good casting for the new. What was his Robert? Is it Robert Shaw? I'm thinking of. Is that the actor I'm thinking of? I know Richard Dreyfuss is the other one, but Robert Shaw. Yeah, Robert Shaw. Yeah, it's like, who would you want to play Robert Shaw? You need somebody who's like a little bit insane. I don't know. I don't know who I would cast. Nicolas Cage. I don't know. What's that? What's that in your bag? A shark or something? What happened to your video game channel? Yeah, if you guys didn't know, like in 2013, I made a video game channel. There's 5 videos. I'm playing Call of Duty, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and I do a really out of shape Bane impression where I break an Xbox controller. It was called Flick Video Games. Don't subscribe to the channel because it's dead. But yeah, I just wasn't that hard. Like, I just didn't have the time and passion to dedicate an entire channel to video games. And when I made it, I thought maybe I did, but then I realized I didn't. KJ Prox, thank you for the super chat, KJ. Hey John, you're the best. Just want to support. Keep doing your thing. Crazy times. The Batman news probably made you cry. It did. Deep down inside, it scared me. But being delayed only a couple of weeks and still probably hitting its release date is very likely. That is, once again, if movies do continue to come out in theaters. So I think we'll have a better idea of what's actually happening in the next few coming months. Dancing with... Ooh, come on. Back up now. Back up, chat. I'm trying to keep up, guys. And don't worry, I will get to all your questions. Actually, I'm going to do it a different way. Trying to keep up here. Bear with me. Norwegian Collector. Did you see the trailer for The Green Knight? I don't even know what that is. What is The Green Knight? I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't know if I don't think I've seen that trailer. It doesn't ring a bell. But thank you. Kickback TV. Still have a P.O. box trying to send you a shirt. Well, thanks, Kickback TV. And by the way, Kickback TV, I recognize your name because you recently just followed me on Twitter or Instagram. Or maybe both. I recognize your logo there. I don't currently have a P.O. box right now. But when I do open up one, I will announce it to everyone. I just don't have one right now. But I want your t-shirt, man, whatever it is. I hope one day I hope to wear it. Darkside Doshi, thank you for the super chat. Did you see SmackDown with no crowd? It was weird. I did watch SmackDown. And by the way, speaking of SmackDown, what about WrestleMania? That's going to be canceled any day now. There's no way they're going to have a 70,000+ person event taking place next month. That's not going to happen. But yeah, as watching SmackDown with no crowd was just a bizarre, weird thing. I'm glad that they put out a show for the sake of entertainment, but it's just wrestling is not the same without the live crowd. It's sort of like really underwhelming to watch. Beach Bum 0331. Definitely look up Shot Caller. Jamie sticks heroin up a special spot for the Aryan Brotherhood. What's better than that? So I guess it's a prison movie. Okay. That should just, what you just told me should be the synopsis. You sold me. I'll watch it. I will watch it. Manor Taze 124. Movie recommendations. Also, what are some of the worst movies you have ever seen? I'm glad you love Batman as much as me. Keep up the great work. Movie recommendations, like to watch right now since you can't leave the house. You know, I actually thought about doing a video, and it was going to be like movie recommendations to watch right now on streaming services like Netflix, Disney Plus. And I thought that would be kind of a cool topical video for things right now. And really, it's just one of many ideas I kind of want to poop out into the universe. So, yeah, one recommendation I'm going to have for you guys, and it's kind of just, it's sort of a childhood classic of mine. It's going to be Three Musketeers, starring Chris O'Donnell, Oliver Platt, and Kiefer Sutherland, and it's and what's his face? The guy that we don't talk about any longer, Charlie Sheen. But yeah, Three Musketeers. I remember seeing that movie in theaters as a kid, and it's playing right now on Disney Plus. And I haven't watched the movie in a few years, and I watched it randomly last night because I just got Disney Plus. I was like, I'm gonna be inside. I'm gonna get Disney Plus, and I could talk all about Disney Plus for like an hour, but I'm not going to. So yeah, watch Three Musketeers on Disney Plus. That's what I did. Claudio Rogajan, have you seen Bone Tomahawk? If you haven't, do so. Yeah, it has Kurt Russell in it, right? Western movie. I did watch. I think I watched parts of Bone Tomahawk. When it comes to Western movies, I either like them or I hate them, and I remember watching it thinking I could watch this, but I just have other things I'd rather do right now. Jamin D, thanks for the super chat. Compared to pre-2011 or pre-2000 action movies, which one do you think has more rewatchability? Also, I love that T2 endoskeleton bust. I am trying to save money for such and hoping to get one day. Favorite action movies before the 2000s? I think all the best action movies came out before the 2000s, honestly. The 90s had some of the best action films of all time. You had Speed, you had Broken Arrow, you had Face Off, you had The Matrix, you had T2, you had Point Break. And every single movie I just named has endless rewatchability for me. I mean, I've rewatched Point Break 50 times. I've rewatched Terminator 2 80 times. Face Off. Con Air! I almost forgot about Con Air! Oh, Cyrus the Virus, everyone. Cyrus the Virus. See, that's what they should have called this. Just call it Cyrus the Virus. So yeah, I think those films have endless rewatchability for me. Dancing with Nintendo Stars. Hey John, what's up? Please explain in your own opinion why you think today's wrestling sucks compared to the Attitude Era. It's overly commercialized and overscripted, and everyone has a micromanager now. Back in the Attitude Era, you could get away with things. It had a PG-13 rating. Now it's a PG rating. All of the promos are scripted. Every word, every little nuance that they do is scripted. They can't go off the cuffs and let their own personality shine. They're pretty much at the mercy of writers who don't really understand wrestling, and it just feels so predictable. That's the thing about the Attitude Era. It wasn't predictable, and also I think social media sort of ruined the kayfabe, the illusion of wrestling. Because back in the 90s, you might have known it wasn't quite real, but there were still things that you thought maybe, okay, that wasn't supposed to happen, but it did. But now it's just, with social media, you can't even buy into the illusion. So those are a few things, I guess. KJ Pro X. Oh, did I already answer? Yeah, I already answered that. Okay. I caught up on them. All right, that's what I was trying to do there. Russell Crowe could play the new Quint in New Jaws. You know, that's a good Rob K. That's a good casting choice for the new Quint in Jaws. I could see Russell Crowe being like all grumpy on a boat. Yeah. Giving that really good speech at night, talking about, yeah. That's a good casting choice. I would agree with that one. Don't remake Jaws. Yeah, who knows? They're going to remake it at some point. Darkside Doshi. Seth Rogen and his friends in a Jaws parody movie. Please no. Please no. The only way that would work is if they all just get eaten by the end of the movie. There's a shark over there. All right. Did you like the ruthless aggression era or the attitude era better? Probably, I think the ruthless aggression era had better wrestling in it, but I grew up with the attitude era. Back in the early 2000s, I stopped watching professional wrestling for like from probably 2003 to 20 probably to 2010, honestly. I didn't watch wrestling. I was just in high school. I got my driver's license. I was a teenage boy. I was more interested in other things at the time, I think. And then later on in life, I became really interested. I became more interested in wrestling. So it's kind of like comfort food to me. When I watch wrestling, it just makes me happy inside. It's so simple. It's like the perfect thing to watch when you eat pizza. Dancing with Nintendo Stars. John, this is Melvin from Rumble. I'm at work right now in Long Island. The virus zombies outside the store. What should I grab first? If you're at the store right now, you gotta grab that toilet paper and you gotta grab some water. Maybe grab some ammo too. But if you can get your hands on antibiotics, that is probably the first thing you want to grab for the apocalyptic wastelands. We're gonna need antibiotics and medicine. Thanks, Melvin. And Melvin's also a Patreon supporter, follows me on Rumble, and always sends me awesome messages. So, hope you're doing well, Melvin. Remember when you were on Jeopardy, John? Haha. Yeah, like 10 years ago or 5, it was like Jeopardy for teens or something. There was a kid who looked identical to me on Jeopardy. Identical. Except he had glasses and he was probably way smarter than me. But I actually am friends with him on Facebook. There was a kid who looked just like me on Jeopardy. I told everyone it was me. A few people believed me. Die Hard. Yeah, that is one action movie I forgot. You know, honestly, when it comes to the Die Hard movies, I sort of actually prefer Die Hard 3 with Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis running around the streets of New York. I love that movie. Like, I actually find that movie very rewatchable. I could watch that movie right now. Mayo's Ahmad. True Lies underrated. I wish JC made more films. Yeah, True Lies, I guess it's underrated, but the one thing True Lies isn't is on Blu-ray. We've been waiting years and years for True Lies to hit Blu-ray, but it's not there yet. Thanks, James Cameron. Then again, the way that James Cameron remasters his Blu-ray films, he destroys them. The one 4K Blu-ray, never buy. Please, if I can give you any advice, never, ever, ever buy T2, the 4K version. It looks nothing like the movie should. It's overly DNR'd and everyone looks like they're wax and it looks like a different movie. I hate it. I'd rather watch the Blu-ray. But yeah, I love True Lies. I actually, I saw True Lies in the theater with my dad when I was a kid. I remember it vividly. That's what me and my dad used to do. We used to go see movies, rated R movies. That's how he raised me. I remember watching that and just being like blown away by it. And the scene with Jamie Lee Curtis, that changed me as a kid. XK, what do you think about Siberian films? It just depends, man. Some of them are just a little too much and not exactly the movie. They're not exactly the feel-good movies you want to watch on a Friday night as you eat some popcorn, right? I've seen a few. They're not for me, man, to be honest with you. Oh, think about a Siberian film. Okay. Let me see something. Oh, a Siberian film. Siberian film. An aging porn star agrees to participate in an art film in order to make a clean break from the business, only to discover that he has been drafted into making... No. No. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen that. That sounds... That sounds like a seedy movie to watch when you're all alone on a cold, rainy night. I watch, do a double feature of that, and then do a double feature of 8mm starring Nicolas Cage. Yeah, or don't. All right, Kindergarten Cop. What about it? These are my taser lasers. I want to put them on the tower. You guys know the little kid in there with his tinfoil that he puts on the tower? I almost wanted to climb a tower once and put little tinfoil things up there to keep the bad guys away. Rando Commando 41. Funniest moments on The Office. Thanks for the super chat, Rando Commando. Yeah, anything with Dwight in it is the funniest moment, and I've said this once and I'll say it again. The funniest moment ever when watching The Office was when they went to Dwight's ranch, and they're driving down the dirt road to get there, and all of a sudden up beside the car comes running Mose, and just the way that it was shot made me laugh my ass off for like 20 minutes. Me and my friends still laugh about that to this day. That was probably the funniest scene that no one talks about in The Office. He was just running beside the car. I don't know why. It made me laugh. All right. Dancing with the Nintendo Stars. Thank you for the super chat. Man, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Which wrestler had the most impact on wrestling? Flair, Hogan, The Rock, or Stone Cold? In the 80s, obviously, Hulk Hogan. He was like the first big icon in wrestling that was commercialized and really sold products. You could put his face on anything: vitamins, cups, t-shirts, beach towels, whatever. But in the 90s, as big as The Rock is now, and as awesome as he was in the Attitude Era, I think Stone Cold was the guy in the 90s, right? He is the guy who made everyone scream and came out driving like a beer truck, spraying the audience down. But now The Rock's the biggest movie star on the planet, so I think The Rock and Stone Cold at the time were the perfect two guys to go head to head. Like, they were the perfect yin to the yang, the perfect culmination that really played well off each other. Homer Simpson or Peter Griffin? Yeah, I'd probably Peter Griffin at this point in my life. Probably I'd go with Peter Griffin. I just can't watch The Simpsons anymore. But thank you for the question, Gambit X. All right, the next one comes from Mike McCarty. Have you seen Flags of Our Fathers or Letters from Iwo Jima? Both are Clint Eastwood films and tell both sides of the story. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Yes, I have actually. I've seen both of those films. I bought them both actually on DVD the same day, and I watched both of them. I actually think Letters from Iwo Jima is the better film. I preferred that version. Letters from Iwo Jima is the side of the Japanese, right? Am I correct? That's the right one, right? Why would they mix and mesh the names of the movies? But yeah, I actually preferred that one. I just thought that was far more intriguing to me because that was sort of the untold story that you don't really hear about anywhere in the history books. And I thought that was... I remember liking both of the films. And by the way, on a quick side note, do you know the way that Clint Eastwood puts out so many films at his old age? Clint Eastwood makes a movie every year. Look at Clint Eastwood's filmography, and you think to yourself, how did this happen? And the reason for that is Clint Eastwood actually, a lot of his movies, he does a very fast production on them, and the way that he films his movies, he doesn't do 15 takes. If you do one take in a Clint Eastwood film and the actors get it right, Clint Eastwood usually says, okay, that's good, let's go to the next scene. They don't do more than one take half the time, which is either a good thing or a bad thing, but it definitely helps with speeding up our production. But that's why we have so many Clint Eastwood movies. He makes movies fast. Some of these questions, guys, I've already answered. So if you just scroll back in time in the video, I've talked all about these. What's your favorite adult cartoon? Trying to think. I used to watch Family Guy, but lately I don't really watch cartoons. I don't know. Sometimes I go on these little benders where I need a little more substance. Like, cartoons are fun, they're entertaining, and if it's on late at night as I'm laying in bed trying to fall asleep, maybe I'll watch a cartoon. One cartoon that no one talks about was the Oblongs. The Oblongs was on like Cartoon Network. It's about this mutated family who, like, some of them don't have arms or legs. I remember that being really funny, and I watched it for like a year, and I never went back and revisited it, but no one talks about it. Favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie, John? I think everyone watching right now could probably answer that question if you've ever seen one of my videos. And by the way, speaking of that, steady hands, steady hands. The name of the company is Video Production News, a professional news gathering service. That is how it should be read, and that is how it should be said. So, yeah. And by the way, guys, on this channel, I don't have it right now. I didn't set up the feature, but if you go to my main channel, the Flick Pick, if you go to any video, right under the video on YouTube, there's this feature where you can buy like merch and t-shirts and all kinds of cool shit, and you can pick up this shirt. So, if you want one, go for it. But yeah, it's right under every YouTube video over on the Flick Pick channel. My eye itches. I'm actually paranoid about itching my eye. I don't want to touch it. I'm scared. I just feel like my hands are covered in dirt germs and like there's a cesspool in each hand, even though I wash them 87 times a day. All right, the next one comes from Dancing with the Nintendo Stars. Willem Dafoe as the new Shaw in Jaws. Ooh, that's a yeah. Yes. Russell Crowe was a good one, but Willem Dafoe would also work very well as long as he does exactly what he did in The Lighthouse, and he gives the same lines. Ye like my lobster? Admit it. The itsy bitsy shark. Yeah, that would be a good casting choice. One of my favorite shirts. Well, thank you. I'm actually making some new shirts. I have some new designs, and it's a few designs that people have been requesting for like 5 years. So look out for those, and whenever I make them, I'll get them made, and I'll show them off, and I'll let you guys know. But I think you guys will like the new designs. And the good thing is, with every shirt that you buy from me, not only will it be a shirt, you can double it as toilet paper. So that's needed in this time of crisis. Liar, Liar, or The Mask? The thing I always remember about The Mask is there's always time for one last kiss. Dorian, the bad guy that wears the mask. Gosh, I don't know. I think Liar, Liar has more rewatchability for me. The Mask is sort of like a live-action cartoon, and I really enjoy it. And I actually went to see The Mask. I remember me and my mom walked to the movie theater to see that movie because there was a movie theater like probably 2 miles away from our house, and it was like a nice day. I remember we walked to go see that movie. Huh. The memories you have, right? But yeah, I'd probably go Liar, Liar as my preference to like rewatch a movie. I'm kicking my own ass. All right, the next one comes from Juan Morales. Best family live-action sitcom filmed in front of a studio audience. Mine is Married with Children. That's the thing about those great 90s shows. They were filmed in front of a live audience rather than including some crap laugh track like The Big Bang Theory does. Yeah, also Home Improvement was another one I enjoyed as a kid. But yeah, Married with Children, that was a show almost ahead of its time, and the things that they did in that show, they could never get away with today. I liked how dysfunctional that family was. Also, growing up, I sort of enjoyed Roseanne. I think if you wanted to say if I related to any show more growing up, it was probably Roseanne, a very blue collar family, middle class. Roseanne sort of was how my family was, I would say, especially that humor. So I always related to that. Azim the Dream Reviews. Thanks for the super chat, Azim. Hey John, hope you and your loved ones stay safe from the virus. Did you stock up any device in reviewing movies since no movies at the theater at the moment? Yeah, we talked about that throughout the super chat, or I'm sorry, throughout the live stream thus far. Yeah, by the way, thank you for that, and I hope everyone else is staying safe. Just stay safe, guys. Just stay away from people if you can. Wash your hands, and that's do what you can, to avoid it. If someone sneezes in your face, douse yourself in bleach, okay? That's what I'm going to do. Some advice for reviewing movies. I'm really just going to focus... if I can go see a new movie, I might go see it. But right now, I'm just going to focus on a whole bunch of other things I've wanted to do for years on YouTube. I have so many top 10 lists I can make. I still can make my top 10 best and worst movies of the year, which I have the thumbnails ready to go right now, I assure you. So I can make those videos finally. I can do a new version of my top 20 movies of all the time. There's a lot of old films I want to talk about, a lot of older movies I want to talk about. And someone asked previously, John, you should talk about some older movies, and I want to do that. And I have a new series I want to make. And it'll actually, the name of my channel will make a lot of sense for this new series. I will just say that. But yeah, there's a lot of things we can do, and if no new movies are coming out, there's thousands of other older movies to talk about that I've never talked about. So I'm actually looking forward to that. It's raining outside right now. Good. I feel like the rain keeps everyone inside. It makes me feel all safe and secure and a little bit cozy. All right. Beachbum0331, best obscure film that you've seen that no one talks about. Best obscure film that no one talks about. You put me on the spot with this question, man. Obscure films that no one talks about. I would have to put some thought into that. I'd really have to put some thought into that. Obscure films that no one talks about. We just did a segment on the podcast talking about underrated films, and but people know of these movies. Actually, I'm going to give you guys a fun 1990s comedy movie right now that no one talks about. The premise is crazy. I think if they remade the film, it would actually work for a remake. And speaking of Married with Children, it's a film called Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I think that would work now. I really think that movie would work out. And I've always enjoyed that film. I remember watching it for the first time on like HBO back in the early 90s as a kid. And the premise is a lot of fun. And what happens is these kids, they're teenagers. Their mom goes away for like the whole summer. And they have this old babysitter. She's very strict. And what happens is she suddenly dies. And they don't want to tell anyone because they want the freedom of the summer. So they leave her dead corpse in a box on the front door of a mortuary. And then they realize that they don't have any money for the summer. So they have to get jobs. And it's kind of a fun movie. And I recommend watching it if you can get a hold of it. I have the crappy DVD over there, but yeah, that's an obscure film for you. There you go. Claudio Rogajan, thank you, man. Have you seen Bone Tomahawk? If you haven't, do it. I answered your question earlier, man. Yeah, I told you I saw part of it. I didn't watch all of it though. But thank you once again. More live streams from Joshua Garrison. You know what? I think I will do more live. I think 2 live streams a week is definitely a possibility. Why not, right? The trick is I don't know which day do you guys like live streams? What day and time do you think is the best for live streaming? Now, typically, I wanted to do Tuesdays around like 7 o'clock at night, maybe 6 o'clock at night on Tuesdays. But right now, a lot of you guys aren't in school. You're not in college. And a lot of you aren't even going to work right now because everything going on. So maybe I will I don't know. I'll definitely do more live streams, at least 2 a week right now on this channel. So yeah, let me know a time and day that you guys think is a really good time to live stream. I'm thinking like, it's odd. Sometimes the later I live stream at like 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock at night, I get more viewers on live streams. I remember one time I live streamed at like 11:30 to 1 o'clock in the morning. And that was the record-setting live stream I ever had. I had like 600 people watching at one time on this channel, which is my smaller channel. So I don't know. I kind of want to just do a midnight live stream at some point. Sean H. Hey, John. Have you ever considered doing movie commentaries? Awesome show. Great job. Well, thanks, Sean. Yeah, over on Patreon, me and Stuckman did a few commentaries for movies. It was mostly bad movies. We did one for like Hurricane Heist, and then we did one for whatever that shitty Netflix movie was. And I want to say we did one more. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, I uploaded the live streams over on Patreon. They're there right now. If you guys follow me on Patreon or you join me on Patreon, you can listen to them. The last one was from like a year ago. As far as doing movie commentaries, I not by myself. I don't want to do them. I think I would just get bored of yapping for 2 hours during the movie. I mean, there's a lot of things I would want to talk about, especially if I do a commentary for maybe one of my favorite movies or something like that, or maybe a really bad movie. But yeah, I think the more people, the merrier when it comes to like a commentary. I'd like to have at least another person, maybe two people, to talk with for the commentaries, and maybe that's a possibility right here. Maybe we can do a live stream commentary for a movie. Maybe we can all get together. We'll start our movies at the same time and do a live stream. Let me know if you guys would want to see that. That would be a good time. Actually, we could legitimately eat popcorn together and live stream. Sean H. Thanks for the super chat, Sean. Hey, John. Sorry, I just read that. I'm stupid. Okay, the next one. Manor Tiez 124. Movie recommendations. Also, what are some of the worst movies you have ever seen? I'm glad you love Batman as much as I do. Keep up the great work. Movie recommendations. I've already talked about a few, but some of the worst movies I've ever seen. I've talked about that many times. But I would say one of the worst movies I've seen this year would last year. I'm sorry. Last year, I'll give you a few of my top 10 worst movies of last year. 47 Meters Down 2, Uncaged. The new Hellboy movie. And then The Fanatic is one of the best worst movies I've ever seen. It's by definition a terrible movie, but man, it's highly entertaining. So it's hard to place it on the list. Some of you guys are asking the same questions twice, and I actually answered the question earlier. If you just go back up, or scroll back, I answered your question, guys. All right. Let me catch up here. I'm trying to catch up, guys. I promise. It's like 6,000 things scrolling across my brain right now. Jack Lame, donate your man juice for scientific purposes. Maybe I'll make that a Patreon perk down the road for you. XK, love you, John. Well, I love you too, XK. Thank you for the super chat, man. Doshi Darkside, you missed my last super chat. I didn't miss your super chats. I promise you, I'm reading them. I'm trying to catch up right now. Best obscure film that no one talks about? Yeah, we talked about that. Juan Morales. Best family live action. I answered that. Yeah, you know what's weird? This chat is repeating the same questions. Bizarre. What a weird thing. Claudio Rogajan. Why do you bash Joel Schumacher so much? He's made good movies before, like The Lost Boys, Time to Kill, and Falling Down. Not 8mm movie sucks. I like 8mm. I don't care what you say. That's a seedy, dark movie, and I like it. Yeah, Joel Schumacher's made some good movies. I would say Falling Down is probably his best movie. But then, the problem is when you make something like Batman and Robin, it sort of overshadows those great films, and that's been the problem with Joel Schumacher. And the fact that he made that film and he thought it was a good idea, that's what it just overshadows the great films. But I agree, Falling Down is a phenomenal movie. I'd like to go back and rewatch that. I haven't watched that in many years. I love the scene in that movie where he goes in and he wants a breakfast sandwich, but they're no longer serving breakfast. I love it. Have you ever watched Dead Meat on the YouTube channel? Joshua Garrison. No, I have not watched Dead Meat. Russ Rogers, favorite NC-17 film. Also, you missed my other one. I'm sorry if I will catch up. I promise you guys before this live stream is over, I will go back and make sure I didn't miss anything. Favorite NC-17 film? Let me think here. Wasn't Shame NC-17? I know Showgirls was. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like another NC-17 film. I know there's been a lot of rated R films I loved that were almost NC-17. All right. Hurricane Heist was good. You're a liar. You are a liar. You're lying to me, right? All right, let me answer a few more here, and I'm going to take a quick break and come right back to you guys. Rando Commando 41, thank you for the super chat. Your top 3 favorite trilogies. Favorite Back to the Future, Star Wars, and the Dark Knight trilogy probably are my top 3 favorite. I'm going to go with those. I know someone's like, Lord of the Rings, John, but I like them. I respect them. They're just not my favorite. Ricardo Franco. Thank you for the super chat, Ricardo Franco. Long time supporter. Thank you. And I'm glad to inspire you to drink Diet Dr. Pepper. So thank you for all your support, man. What's up, John? How are you holding up on all this madness? I'm doing okay. You know, I'm doing as well as I think I can. I hope everyone else is doing well. Just one day at a time, right? It's crazy. Who would have ever thought in our lifetime something like this would happen? And I'm hoping it doesn't get worse, though the cynic in me thinks it will. But you know what, guys? Stay home. Just watch your movies and avoid people. That's what you got to do. Malti Sabata, favorite James Bond movie? Definitely Casino Royale. I mean, it had the best theme by Chris Cornell. It had the perfect 3-act. I think Daniel Craig was the first time I saw a James Bond that I was like, that guy could kick someone's ass. I believe that he could kick someone's ass. And I liked it because Daniel Craig wasn't the obvious choice to play Bond. And when he was originally cast, everyone complained. Everyone hated it. And guess what? After they watched Casino Royale, they loved him as Bond. So I think Daniel Craig. And I'm hoping that whenever No Time to Die comes out, it's a great send-off for him as James Bond. If the movie ever comes out. In 15 years, when that movie finally comes out. Night King 01, thanks for the super chat. Favorite Batman story from the comics? Probably The Long Halloween. Maybe. And I think the Batman film I actually think is including storylines from The Long Halloween, so that's cool. There's some on-set photos with the Batman where you actually see pumpkins and stuff in the background. So I think they're going to have a little bit of that storyline in there, which gets me excited, and I'm really looking forward to that. And that's a storyline I've wanted to see done in a Batman movie for a long time. Yes, you did, John. Darkseid Doshi, I will answer your questions. I promise you, buddy. Notice me, Russ Rogers. I do notice you and all your emojis, especially of my stupid face, those emojis. All right, guys, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a super quick break, just like 2 minutes. So if you guys want to reload the popcorn, put on some hand sanitizer, take a pee, whatever you want to do, just give it two minutes, and we'll be back, and we'll answer more questions about whatever you want to. So yeah, I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. I hope you have your popcorn, and I'm ready to answer some more questions. By the way, I saw my old pal Crazy Jason is commenting right now. He asked me how many rolls of toilet paper I have. I think we had like 7, and then I went to the store the day before they sold out of everything, and I bought like a 12-pack of toilet paper. The expensive stuff, not usually my style. I like to buy the stuff that feels like sandpaper. I'm a cheapskate. So now I have 12 plus 6. I'm not a mathematician, so how many ever that is, that's how many I have. But yeah, let me dive into some more questions here because I'm trying to keep up, guys. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. Just give me a second here. I'm going to keep up with all your amazing, glorious questions. Darkseid Doshi, Air Force One, another great action movie. I agree. That is well, actually, I'm going to disagree with you. People like that film. It's definitely a 90s action film that's okay. I never loved that movie. I was like, okay, it's Die Hard on a plane, except now instead of a cop, you have the president. Yeah, I just never got into really Air Force One. So yeah. A few newer questions here. Trey Stallings, thanks for the super chat, Trey. Who would you cast as the Joker in the Batman? Great question. I actually would put Joaquin Phoenix in it, and I've been saying this before. I had this theory, which I don't think they're going to do. But I said there's no reason that this new version of Batman can't take place in the same universe as the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. There's no reason. I think they're missing a huge opportunity if they don't tie it in somehow, at least into the same universe. Like, this new Batman movie should take place in the 1990s, which is the perfect time period, which would make Batman Bruce Wayne the right time, the right age, based on the Joker film. And I think with the success of that film and how much people enjoyed it, it better tie in. And you could always have an older Joker played by Joaquin Phoenix. That's if he wanted to do it. I don't know. I think he originally signed up just to do one movie. But that's who I'd like to see come back as the Joker. Let's keep going here. Beachbum0331. You know what's a real uplifting movie to watch right now? Contagion with Matt Damon. Yeah. You can watch Contagion, you can watch Outbreak, then you can watch 12 Monkeys, then you can watch every zombie apocalypse movie that possibly exists. Yeah, those are all great movies we should all watch right now. But then again, whatever makes us paranoid enough to wash our hands, that's the movie we should probably watch. Mike McCarty, a Pretty Much It style commentary would be awesome. Yeah, man, that would, it'd probably be something like that. Maybe a less energetic. Like, I've listened to some of their commentaries and I'm just like, I can't keep up with that. But yeah, that would be a good time. I would like to do it. It's always better to do a commentary on like a terrible movie that you can laugh at, but at the same time, I'd rather do one on a movie I love just to talk about it. You know, a relaxing commentary where I can just talk about the movie. So, and then, did I miss any other ones? I don't know if I did. But yeah, let's answer some new questions here and keep up with some of your amazing questions. Claudio Rogajan, can you review Six Underground? Movie gave me a headache. Yeah, that Six Underground's on my top 10 worst of the year, so it gave me a headache too. I had to stop every 15 minutes when watching that movie to take a Tylenol because that movie is just Michael Bay just lost his mind. Like, it's at the point where Michael Bay movies feel like Michael Bay movies where he tried. Now it just feels like, just slap some stuff in there and up the contrast and oversaturate the movie and it'll be fine. Yeah, it's a terrible movie. Ricardo Franco. I've never been happier to have physical Blu-ray collection than now, especially if two stream and break the servers. Yeah, if too many people start streaming, internet might go down, it could freeze up, and those amazing streaming services that everyone for years have clinged on to, I don't know. They're not reliable. I don't trust them to always work. And when I want to watch a movie in the sanctity of my home, I don't trust the streaming services. And plus, I could go on all day about the compressed picture quality and whatnot. But once again, that's why you buy these. They're never going to leave you. They're never going to let you down. They're always going to be there to hold close to your bosom to keep you company late at night. So that's why I have all of these movies. Even though I watch probably like 10 of them, I own all of them. Yeah, it's physical media, man. It's making sense right now. Beachbum0331. Last one. Any podcast you listen to? Thank you, man. And thanks for the question, Beachbum. I listen to a lot of wrestling podcasts, honestly. I like to listen to the ones that discuss events of the past, that give inside information on how they came up with the name of this pay-per-view, the behind the scenes of why they did this, or what really happened. And a few of those I listen to are Something to Wrestle With. I listened to Grilling JR. There's another podcast I actually listen to. It's hosted by Justin Long, who was in Jeepers Creepers and Die Hard 4. I listened to his podcast that he hosts, and he has it depends on which guest he has. Like he had Tim Robbins on one of the episodes, and that was really fascinating. I like that podcast as well. Those are a few I listen to right now. There's probably a few others I'm not thinking of. Chris Miner, would an Austin Powers 4 work in today's society? Probably not. I think we're over it. It's like the slapstick comedies aren't quite as effective as they once were. But then again, if we did get another Austin Powers movie, I can see it being made for like Netflix or something. I don't really need to watch it, but maybe, I don't know. By the way, The Love Guru. Somebody asked me one of my worst movies of all time. The Love Guru. That's one of the worst movies of all time. Yeah. All right. Some of the questions. I'd say Dazed and Confused. Dazed and Confused, what? I think it's the best. I think Dazed and Confused is my favorite Criterion movie that I own. Russ Rogers, have you seen any Lars von Trier films? I have seen Lars von Trier films. What was the one with Willem Dafoe? I watched it just a few years ago. Someone remind me. I'm not looking it up right now. Mortal Kombat Annihilation is awesome. What's wrong with you? Come on. Do you listen to What Culture? Yeah, I watch What Culture every once in a while. Amy Witzke, thanks for the super chat. If you could be a hero from the MCU, who and why? Who would I be and why? I don't know. You know, they all have downfalls, don't they? They all have like a downside. I think Thor would be the most beneficial hero to be. You're pretty much a godlike figure. You can do whatever you want. And he has no conflicting issues, right? Except his entire family is dead and his home planet blew up. But besides that, and your brother's crazy and wants to kill you. But besides that, that would be really cool. Yeah, the Hulk has to rage out. I don't want to be that. Captain America would be really cool. That'd be like the most practical hero of them all. But then again, everyone you know sort of died 50 years ago. So yeah, maybe Thor. Thor or Captain America. Yeah. All right. Somebody asked me about my what's your favorite streaming service? You know, so I just got Disney Plus today, and I like it. It's okay. It's okay. Wow, the stream quality is just shit right now, isn't it? Yeah, so I got Disney Plus today, and I actually think as far as like a streaming service that doesn't compress the content and the video that you're watching to almost make it unwatchable. I really like the way that Disney Plus looks as a streaming service. I like the bit rate compared to like something like Netflix or Hulu or and I have YouTube TV, which is where I watch most of my live TV. I don't really watch a lot of movies there, but I would probably say Netflix overall has the best catalog of titles, past and present and new. And Disney Plus looks the best. I canceled my Hulu a long time ago. Occasionally, Amazon Prime has a few good movies on there, but something about Amazon Prime movies, especially if it's an older film, I don't know what they're doing or where they get their films from, but it's like they take the original film stock of some older movies, and it's like they're buying the rights to the unremastered versions. Have you looked at some catalog movies on Amazon Prime? It looks really rough and beat up and has scratches in it. And the DVD version of that looks way better. So I don't know what's happening there. I don't know if that's like a rights issue or something. It's kind of odd. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm not quite sure. But I will say the one downside to Disney Plus is I thought they were going to have way more Fox catalog titles on there. Since they own Fox now, they acquired it. But not as many as... They only have a handful. And I was really disappointed by that. So I don't know if I'm going to keep Disney Plus for very long. And plus, the only like the only series that they have on there that's I am even slightly interested in watching is The Mandalorian. Yes, Antichrist. Antichrist is yes that's the movie. Thank you guys. Yeah, that was that's an interesting movie. Yeah, I watched that randomly like a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, okay. And I loved Willem Dafoe in that film. Do the Morgan Freeman. Maybe. I might do it. Just bear with me for the next few minutes, and I might give you a really shitty Morgan Freeman impression. Multi Sabata. Thoughts on the upcoming Dune remake? Really looking forward to it. Same director of Sicario and Blade Runner 2049, and I think it'll be a kick-ass sci-fi film, and it'll be a smart man's sci-fi film, which we need more of, and our thinking man's sci-fi film. And I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed and it comes out next December, because that's one of my most anticipated films. Also, I'm hoping films like Tenet don't get delayed, but I have a very strong feeling that they will. But yeah, I can't wait for the Dune remake. As far as the original Dune movie from the 1980s, I watched it. I actually watched it for the first time last year, and I did not like it. You know my name. How about John reacts to the first video on his channel? My name is Morgan Freeman. Remember to wash your hands. So yeah, I guess I could make... Yeah, so from now on, since there's no new movies to watch, I'll just do reaction videos to some of my first videos. Wouldn't that be a good time? You know, occasionally, sometimes, when I'm alone at night, and all alone, and it's cold, I do go back and randomly, like sometimes on the side of YouTube, it'll have recommended videos, and I do go back and watch some of my older videos. And I think, wow, that, like, I went for it back then. I really did. I had a younger brain. My brain was malleable. It was more like chewed up bubble gum. It didn't quite harden, right? And that level of immaturity allowed me to have no filter, which is a really good thing, especially starting out on YouTube. And yeah, there were some very interesting things I did on YouTube 10 years ago. Yeah, that was a recommendation by some Patreon supporters. They're like, you should do reaction videos of your older videos. So maybe I'll do one just for fun and see how it works out. Your favorite recent horror film? For me, I think in the modern age of horror films, at least the last like 10 years, I really enjoyed The Conjuring. I think most people might say like Invisible Man or something. I didn't love that movie as much as anyone else. I just saw blaring plot holes by an obsessive ex-boyfriend who had too much technology and he wasted it stalking his girlfriend. But for me, in recent years, I actually really like The Conjuring film, and I think Insidious Part 1 is a really great... That was 2010, right? Insidious? 2009, 2010? I think I think Insidious was like a masterpiece for a horror film. It was actually a film that scared me. Chris Blass, thanks for the super chat. By the way, Russ Rogers, man, those emojis. You like those emojis, don't you? Those are good. I like them. Hey, John. What is your opinion on Andy Serkis directing Venom? Also, have you watched Prisoners? It's my favorite film of all time. Or Prisoners. Yeah, I watched Prisoners, the Denis Villeneuve movie. I really love that. Also starring the new Riddler, Paul Dano. Yeah. So as far as your question goes, I don't know. Andy Serkis's last film that he directed was the Mowgli movie, the Jungle Book movie, and I didn't think that was all that great. And that was in post production hell for a couple years. I'm looking forward to Venom 2. I think hopefully it's a good movie. I did not like the first Venom. I think it had a terrible script, though I'm a fanboy of Tom Hardy. I hope the second Venom movie is a lot better than the first. And I think Andy Serkis is a talented director, so hopefully we get something amazing, and it's just better than the first movie. Hey, Mrs. Chan, it's a virus or something. Wow, how fitting is that in today's society? Wow.
Eddie, what you're going to do is rip off his arms and his legs and make him a turd in the wind.
Do you own any Criterion releases? Yes, I do. I own a handful of them, but my favorite one is by far Dazed and Confused. By the way, Crazy Jason, how are you doing? How are you doing, man? I told you if you ever wanted to co-host one of these, you could join in sometime. Claudio Rogajan. Have you seen Jean-Claude Van Damme movies? Yes, I have. I have seen many Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. I like Lionheart and Bloodsport. And I actually, sort of in one weird way or another, because I remember seeing it in theaters as a kid, I like the Street Fighter movie. Actually, I don't like it. But I enjoy looking at it. That's different. Yes, blame the unfinished forming brain, John. I will. Favorite wrestling match of all time? For me, honestly, you know what got me into wrestling as a kid? Because for many years, I knew other kids who watched, and I was like, I don't want to watch that. That's lame. And then one day, I randomly turned on Monday Night Raw, and this was back in 1998, and it was the first Monday Night Raw after the King of the Ring pay-per-view, where Mankind wrestled Undertaker in the Hell in the Cell match, and he got thrown off the side of it. And they showed clips of that on Monday Night Raw when it first started. And that was the first time I ever watched like Monday Night Raw. And I was like, whoa, what is this all about? And that sold me. I think if it wasn't for something that extreme as my first viewing experience, I don't know if I would have been as captivated by what I was seeing. Joshua Garrison, do you watch anything special on Friday the 13th? I didn't watch anything special on Friday. Friday the 13th was yesterday. I actually watched The Three Musketeers on Disney Plus. That's what I did. Because sometimes when things are dark and you're and in the gutter, that's how things are right now. They're a little bit depressing. I think what you need to do, and I've been saying this for years, you need to find your happy place. And what is your happy place? My happy place has always been all of my Disney movies. And I've said this 15 times in other videos over the years, but I said one day when my midlife crisis hits, or in a situation like this where everyone's panicking in society, I'm going to take all my Disney movies. And by all my Disney movies, not the physical copies back there, which I do own, but what I did is I downloaded Disney Plus, and now I have all those movies, and I started watching them to find my happy place. So I started with The Three Musketeers, and it did make me happy watching Chris O'Donnell and Oliver Platt and Charlie Sheen. Ugh. Street Fighter is a guilty pleasure. It's definitely guilty. I don't know if it's a pleasure. It's like a guilty pain. Do you watch All Gas No Brakes on YouTube? No, I do not. Melvin Chillin, if you had one choice to go without Schwarzenegger or Nightcrawler, what would you choose? Thank you for the super chat, Melvin. Man, Nightcrawler's it's actually I think my favorite film of all time. So to say I wouldn't go without that, but not to have like T2 or True Lies or The Terminator. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I need Nightcrawler though. That movie reminded me of how great movies can be. And also that same year, the film Whiplash that came out reminded me. What's weird is just yesterday I watched. I don't know why I did it, but I watched the scene from Whiplash. With Miles Teller and the teacher, J. Jonah Jameson. I'm forgetting his name all of a sudden. And I watched that scene. Were you dragging? And I love it where he throws the chair at his head and he smacks him in the face. It's amazing. Were you rushing or dragging? I love it. Do you own any out of print movies? Over the years, I've actually owned a lot of out-of-print movies, but at the time, I either sold them or did something with them, but that was before I knew how valuable they were going to be. At one point, I had the entire Friday the 13th set on Blu-ray, that set that put out that came in the middle box, and that went out of print and was worth a lot of money at one time, and I owned it, but then I sold it at one time because I was like, I'm not going to rewatch all of these movies. I only really liked like two or three of them. I'm trying to think of a few. I remember Drop Dead Fred was out of print. I don't know if I owned that DVD, and I think that was worth like $80. Maybe it's worth less now. And also Coneheads on DVD, which is out of print. I own that. It's somewhere. I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure I own it. Russell Waxon. Thanks for the super chat, Russell. Do you miss Blockbuster and the old school mom and pop video rental stores with all those VHS tapes that popped up every time you opened them? I do. I miss the smell of them. I miss holding them. I miss, the thing when I was a kid, the way I discovered a lot of my movies, besides just randomly watching them or staying up past my bedtime at 2 o'clock in the morning watching them on HBO, was going to the video store. And the thing that, I don't know about you, but for me, I would judge a movie based on its artwork, based on its cover. I didn't even read the synopsis. I would just look at the pictures. And I remember always going to Blockbuster, and I would typically rent like the same 10 movies over and over. But I would always, I think my parents allowed me to rent 2 movies at a time. So I'd always rent like the one movie I knew that I was going to like, that I've seen before, and then I'd rent another movie that I've never seen and take a chance on it. And that's how I discovered so many crazy movies back in the 90s. Like, that was the first time I watched Shocker. Finger Looking Good, the Wes Craven movie. And I remember just looking at the artwork of the guy in the electric chair wearing an orange jumpsuit and thinking, wow, that looks pretty cool. And our Maximum Overdrive was another one that I got based on the artwork. I was like, I like Emilio Estevez from Mighty Ducks. I wonder what's happening in this movie. So yeah, I do agree with you. But right now, in most places in the country, at least the East Coast area, you still have. By the way, Crazy Jason, talk to me, man. Tell me how you're doing. Yeah, so you still have Family Videos, which are rental video stores, but they have a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays. And I made a video last August exploring Family Video, so you can watch that. And I want to do another one with Family Video where I go back to one of their video rental stores and truly just hold and covet the titles. But I miss the smell. The next one comes from Mauricio. I think that's how you say it. Silva. Hey, John. What is the best 4K Blu-ray you have ever watched? Keep up the great work. Well, thank you, man. I typically say in situations like this, I say Mad Max Fury Road. If you buy a brand new TV and you really just want those vivid colors to pop out into your eyeballs, watch Mad Max Fury Road on 4K, even though the film was actually shot in 2K, but it looks great on 4K nevertheless. It's just a visually stunning experience, and I think if you were to try to sell someone a 4K TV, that's the movie I would probably show them. But beyond that, I love the way that Gladiator looks on 4K. I really want to get other movies like Troy on 4K. Like an epic swords and sandals film with Brad Pitt wearing bronzer. I think that would be a really cool 4K. I really just want to buy I want to buy every one of my favorite epic films in 4K. But there's a ton of other great movies that have not been released in 4K yet that I'm still waiting on. Slam Drunk. Thanks for the super chat, man. What are your favorite Pixar films? Mine be Up, Wall-E. Yeah, Up and Wall-E. Actually, I have an unpopular opinion, man. I feel like I'm one of the only people who didn't love Up. Like, here's the thing with Up. I loved the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then the house floats away, and then you have like a giant bird thing. What was that? I forget. And then I just like, I didn't like it anymore. Like, the second and third act of that movie, I just fell out of love with it. I know it's crazy. I know people are probably going to disagree, but I feel like Up had a lack of rewatchability, but the first 10 minutes were amazing. I liked Wall-E, but I share some of the same things with Wall-E. I think that film has a great, interesting first act where you have the little robot alone on a trash planet, and he's picking up all the trash, and he's just sort of there doing his own thing, and then he goes on to the cruise liner, and then, but yeah, both movies have great first acts. That's the thing that both those movies have in common. But for me, I've always enjoyed The Incredibles, all the Toy Story movies I enjoy. I think Toy Story 4 is probably my least favorite. And then, what else is there? Pixar films. I thought Onward was pretty good. But some of the newer Pixar films for me lack rewatchability. Do you like 2001: A Space Odyssey or The Shining? I like The Shining. I've always enjoyed The Shining. 2001: A Space Odyssey is sort of one of those movies where you're probably never going to be in the mood to actually watch it. But it's one of those movies that you from a technical standpoint, you have to watch and respect for just what they were capable of doing in the late 1960s. Which led me to many of my moon conspiracy landing theories, because Stanley Kubrick, man, it just, the things he was doing in the 60s from a technical standpoint with filmmaking was just mind-blowing. But yeah, if you want to watch a 15-minute sequence of a ship's docking, you get that in 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I can only imagine watching that movie in theaters back then. That would have been mind-blowing, which kind of led the path for future special effects like Star Wars. But I think I would probably go with The Shining as my preference. You Know My Name. Can you believe you have a video titled Top 10 Hottest Disney Princesses? Not only can I believe that, but can you believe this? That video is basically like 500 views away from 1 million. Yeah, what does that say about all of you weird freaks out there? It's one of my most viewed videos of all time. I don't know why I made that. I actually think someone dared me to make that video. I think I was in a conversation with somebody, and they're like, I bet you won't make a top 10. And I was like, I bet you I will. And I did. And 1 million people watched it, so. All right. Do a Walter White impression. No, I'm not. I refuse to do it. I want pancakes. All right, the next question comes from the Crazy Jason. License to Drive is out of print. You're right. License to Drive is out of print. I do own License to Drive. License to Drive is another underrated film from the 1980s, starring the Coreys, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. Which, by the way, Corey Feldman just put out a documentary that's. It sort of makes you look at Charlie Sheen in a different way, but then again, I think we've all looked at Charlie Sheen in a different light for many years now. But yeah, I love License to Drive. Such an underrated, like, fun teenager comedy movie. Gran Torino was hilarious. I agree. Gran Torino was a hilarious movie. Every time I watch that movie, and every time anytime Clint Eastwood says anything in that movie, I laugh. Shut the fuck up. He takes out his fake imaginary gun. That's the best scene in the entire movie. Marcio Silva. Hey, John. Did I answer this already? Did I answer this question already, or am I insane? Hey, John, what is the best 4K Blu-ray you ever watched? Keep up the great work. I answered that already, right? Okay. I did. But also, The Dark Knight Rises looks great on 4K. The Dark Knight's a better movie, but The Dark Knight Rises looks a little bit better on 4K. Night King 01, thanks for the super chat, man. Favorite Star Trek film from the original series? From the original series, I think Wrath of Khan is probably the best. I did watch it one time, 2 years ago. But for me, I really liked the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek film. I thought that was really good. I think he did exactly what he needed to do to kind of recapture what Star Trek was and open it up for a new generation. And I thought the casting of Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto was really good in that film. They both fit the roles perfectly. And they brought back old Spock, which is great. The one problem I had in that film was the villain. Hey, I'm Nero. It just I was like, I don't buy into that. It was what's his name? Eric Bana, right? I was just like, it felt miscast to me. Like I was just like, something about the way he delivered his lines in that movie felt weird. Daniel Colo? Daniel Colo? Hey, John, I think Joker is a new classic. Thoughts? I think Joker is a new classic for a new generation of film lovers. You know, here's my thing with Joker. I love it. It's phenomenal. And it's sort of like it could be this generation's new Taxi Driver in a way, right? I say this. If you've never seen the film Taxi Driver and you watch the film Joker, it'll blow you away. You're like, whoa, this is crazy. But if you've seen both films and if you've seen Taxi Driver before Joker, you go, well, this is pretty good, but it's kind of borrowing a lot from Taxi Driver. But yeah, I really enjoyed the new Joker film, and I have yet to pick that up on 4K yet. That's crazy, right? I just haven't not got a chance to pick that movie up. What's your favorite WrestleMania? Probably WrestleMania 17. That TLC match was phenomenal. Top 10 Disney princesses. Yeah, I made that video. Look it up sometime when you're feeling all alone. I could probably update the list to be a little bit better, but all right, let's see. Russ Rogers, did you already answer the American Psycho 2 question? Yeah, I've answered that question probably 55 times since doing live streams. I've seen 15 minutes of American Psycho 2. That was enough. I was done. Joaquin Phoenix versus Heath Ledger. I loved Joaquin as Joker, but Heath Ledger's, he's the dude. I think that was a more iconic version of Joker. I mean, and in all fairness, his version of Joker was allowed to do a little bit more, especially he went up against Batman in the film. He got to take over Gotham. He caused anarchy and chaos, and he didn't have a plan. He's like a dog chasing a car, but the weird thing is he had a really good plan. The Joker's plan was really a phenomenal plan that required a lot of time and coordination, and it wasn't just random chaos like he said it was. So yeah, I think Heath Ledger's Joker is my preference. Damn it, now I feel foolish. It's okay. It's okay. You're talking blasphemy about Star Trek. Wrath of Khan can't be touched. Yeah, Crazy Jason. I know it's your favorite. Yeah, you got to understand, though. You saw Wrath of Khan for the first time a long time ago. You grew up with the film. For me, really, my first Star Trek experience, at least in a theater, was J.J. Abrams' Star Trek. And I was never a huge Star Trek fan growing up. I was sort of always more of a Star Wars kid. So yeah, I think that's just why I can rewatch the J.J. Abrams Star Trek anytime it's on. Now, as far as like J.J.'s Wrath of Khan or Into the Darkness, I just call it Wrath of Khan, J.J. Abrams. Not so good. And the third incarnation, Beyond, Star Trek Beyond, was like they tried to make Star Trek into like a Fast and Furious film to cater to like that demographic, and that failed miserably. Hey, John, are you excited for Tenet? It's my #1 most anticipated movie of 2020. I just hope that it doesn't get delayed and it does come out. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for Tenet. I feel like people didn't watch my most anticipated movies of 2020 list. No one watched it. Please go watch it. Did you watch Richard Jewell? I have Richard Jewell. Actually, I have it on DVD. No, I have it on Blu-ray. I lied. Yeah, I have it right here. It was sent to me to talk about. I have yet to watch it. I'm really looking forward to it. And I also have this. This was sent to me as well to review. And here's my review. I'd rather have CV than watch this movie. All right. Let's answer a few more questions here. Manor Tays 124. John, just watched, Oh, man, okay. John, just wanted to... Why can't I read? John, just wanted to know that your hottest Disney princesses video has over 1 million views now. What's your opinion on Detroit Rock City? Thank you. I feel so happy that video does have 1 million views. I sort of feel accomplished now as a person, and a little bit weird. As far as Detroit Rock City, man, I'm glad you brought that up. I actually would consider that one of the most underrated films. I love films I love teenage comedy movies that have a road trip vibe to them. And Detroit Rock City has that vibe. And it also stars Edward Furlong. I don't know why I find Edward Furlong relatable. Like, he's a dude that you would know that you'd hang out with. And if you've seen him lately, he actually seems like a dude you could just go hang out with. But yeah, Detroit Rock City was great. I saw that in theaters. Yeah, I love that. And I also always enjoyed films that have that take place in a different time period. So the 1970s was the backdrop for Detroit Rock City. Really great movie. I think you guys should go watch Detroit Rock City. I don't think it's streaming. Is it streaming anywhere? I don't know. Dan5271, thanks for the super chat, man. I know it might be early to tell, but who can replace Henry and be the new Superman if it happens? Yeah, that's a good question. Who can replace Henry Cavill as the new Superman? I really feel like they should find a way to continue him as Superman, because there's no reason they can't continue him unless they completely reboot the entire Justice League and what they're doing in that universe, which I think they are slowly going that route. But I don't know. I don't know who could replace Henry Cavill as Superman. I thought he was a perfect Superman. Like, he was just a good enough actor. He physically looked right for the role. You bought into this guy being like a Superman. I don't know. I don't know who could play the new Superman. I really don't. Off the top of my head, I don't have a casting choice. If you guys want to throw some people in the comments, let me know. John, no offense, but you are pretty creepy in the Hottest Princesses video. Yeah, I know. I know. There's no way not to be creepy in that video. Do you watch AEW on TNT? Every once in a while. I went to an AEW show a few months ago in Huntsville. It was pretty cool. Russ Rogers, favorite erotic thriller. Any thoughts on David Lynch? David Lynch, he's a fine director. For me, he's hit or miss. I don't love a majority of his films. Favorite erotic thriller. Have you ever seen the movie Crash? Not the Academy Award-winning movie Crash, but the other Crash movie about people who get into car accidents and they get turned on by it. They made a movie about that. That's a real movie. There you go. It's not really my favorite, but it's a movie. It just Arnold as the new Superman. Who can replace Cavill? I'm not sure. Matt Bomer. Nick Cage is the only option. I would have loved to see that Nick Cage Superman movie. A lot of these questions you guys are asking, I've already answered, guys. I don't want to repeat the same thing 10 times. Is it Matt Bomer? Matt Bomer. Let me look at Matt Bomer. I don't know who that is. Matt Bomer. yeah, Matt Bomber. Okay. Yeah, he sort of just looks like Henry Cavill, doesn't he? He's 42 years old. He might be a little too old to play Superman. He sort of just looks like Henry Cavill. He looks like the guy they would get if they couldn't get Henry Cavill to play Superman. So I don't know what the point of it would be. Trying to catch up on a few questions here, guys. Give me a second. Have you seen and or reviewed The Irishman from Malty Sabata? Yeah, yes, I did, man. I have a review of The Irishman on my channel, my other channel, The Flick Pick. Go watch it. I put it up in November. So yeah, I do have a review of The Irishman. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's one of Scorsese's best films, but man, it's still a great film. Long movie. I watched that in an art house theater in one of the most uncomfortable movie theater chairs I've ever sat in my life. I was setting up like this for 3 hours, but yeah, I enjoyed The Irishman. The next one comes from Crunch Butt Steak. Thanks for the super chat, man. Best date movie, I'd say Sallow or Girl. I'm not familiar with either of those. I have no clue what those are. I'm sure. Are they crazy? I don't know. I actually now want to look up what you're talking about. Sallow. How crazy are these movies going to be? Let me see. Sallow. Group of fascists round up 9 adolescent boys and girls and subject them to 120 days of physical, mental, and sexual torture. Yeah, I was just gonna go with Superbad. But hey, man, that now I'm gonna watch this. All right, let's keep answering some of your questions here. I'm going to answer a few more questions, guys. Dan5271, thanks for the super chat, man. Thank you, Dan5271. You're always here in the super chats. I appreciate it so much. Number one fan. You actually technically might be one of my number one fans. I do appreciate that. Do you like McDonald's? Not typically. It's sort of like a last resort. It's sort of like... No, I don't. I do occasionally eat it, but maybe like 3 times a year. If I'm going to go to fast food, I typically go to like Chick-fil-A or I go to Wendy's. There's just something about McDonald's. Ever since I saw how they actually process their chicken nuggets, I just can't enjoy it anymore. I just can't do it. John, do you still ever go to the pawn shops? From Joshua Garrison. Very rarely. Actually, I don't think I've been to a pawn shop in like 2, maybe 3 years, and I would like to go back eventually at some point because that's where I found all the great deals on used physical media, and I'm hoping that if I did another round of pawn shops that they're going to have a lot of used 4K Blu-rays in there for like $3, so I could like catch up on some old movies or catalog titles that I normally probably wouldn't want to spend $20 on. So yeah, I do want to do another round of the pawn shops to find some old Blu-rays or 4K movies, and I would love to record it. So yeah, I could definitely make like a new flick trip to the pawn shop. Terrence Malick or Steven Soderbergh? It just really depends on what you want. You know, I love a lot of the things Steven Soderbergh has done, and I think some of his films definitely have more rewatchability in there. Like he did the Ocean's 11 movies, and I love I think the Ocean's 11 2001 is one of the best remakes ever made. He also directed Contagion, so there you go. Let's all just, you know what we should do? I should do a live movie commentary right now for the movie Contagion. How depressing would that be? Dan5271, burrito or bowls? Oh, you got to go with the burrito, man. You got to go with the burrito. The bowl is just That's not real. What you got to do is you have to have it all wrapped up there in that soft tortilla shell. You got to hold it. You got to hold it as you eat it. It makes you feel like a man as you shove it in there. I love burritos. So yeah, I'm definitely going to go with burritos. Cool. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Have you seen the original 1978 Drunken Master? Thank you for the super chat. No, I have not. No, I don't think I have. I saw the Jackie Chan version, but not the 78 version. Who was your WWE Diva crush? You've asked that question 87 times. Come on. I don't... Calm down. I don't know. Original, maybe Sable? I don't know. Manuel Elgindero. Elorindo? Manuel Elorindo? Maybe? Thank you for the super chat, man. Sour Patches and popcorn are on the side. I've tried Sour Patches in my popcorn a couple times, and it's not bad because you're eating the saltiness of the popcorn, and then you dig down a little deeper, and you grab one of those little soft, pliable Sour Patches, and you get that burst of sugar and tropical flavors in your mouth, and it's actually not a bad mix. Some people actually put Bunch of Crunch or other like chocolatey things in their popcorn. You can eat that as well, but Sour Patches in your popcorn actually is not that bad. I have tried it. I enjoyed it. But I like to have the separation in the theater. I like to go here if I want this or here if I want this. I don't like it to be a surprise. Dan5271. Does Morgan Freeman like burritos?
Yes, I do. My name is Morgan Freeman, and I'm going to Chipotle. You either get busy eating or you get busy shit.
All right. Yeah, I don't want to go to Chipotle anytime soon. Every time I went there, and plus they had a lot of issues in the past with like contaminated food. I don't know, man. Hey, John, go to bed. It's late. It is getting late. I'm probably going to answer a few more questions. John, are you still lifting? Yes, I still do occasionally go to the gym, but I'm taking a break right now due to everything happening in society because I don't want to lay in other people's pools of sweat. So, yeah, I'm taking a break right now, but yeah, I still go to the gym, still lift. Thank you so much for answering that question, dude. Well, no problem. John, what is your favorite movie poster from Gambit X? My favorite movie poster, I think Jaws is iconic, and I think that movie poster right there is also very phenomenal. That's one of my favorite modern day movie posters from The Dark Knight. I love the teal, orange, and blue colors, which is sort of a trend now. I just love it. Also, I like the Back to the Future poster as well. What happened to the Taco Bell? I don't know what happened to Taco Bell. It's still around. I just don't eat there. I'm braving the gym. Still bothers. I'm braving the gym. Still brothers in iron. Winner takes all. Yeah, man. Hey, I hear you. If you're gonna get sick, you might as well get sick with some gains, right? I'm giving it a week. I'm going to see what plays out and give it a week. I just know if I go to the gym, I will be one of the ones to get it. I just know it. Have you ever seen the movie The Warriors? Absolutely. The 1970s The Warriors, man. Oh my God. That's one of that. If you watch my top 20 movies of all time, that was like number 20, actually. Warriors come out to play. They were actually trying to remake that movie for many, many years. They were originally, at one point, they were going to make a Warriors remake that took place in LA where you had like modern day gangs fighting it out. That kind of fell by the wayside. But yeah, I loved the Warriors. And I love the baseball Furies in the Warriors. Like if I was in the 1970s in one of those gangs, I would have been in the baseball Furies. Wearing like a baseball suit with my face painted, just beating people up with baseball bats? Yes, please. That's a gang I want to join. Damn5271, thank you for the super chat, man. What is the best era of... I can't say this because my video will get demonetized, guys. But the best adult entertainment for beginners, wherever you... I don't know. Pick a genre. Start with some anime. That seems like a good gateway. Type in tentacles. See what happens. But thank you for you super chatted $10 for that question. What is society coming to? But thank you so much. Oh man. All right, guys. It's getting late. I know I said I was going to take a few minutes ago, but I will take a few more questions here. Straight Edge Punk, stop asking the same question. I answered it. I answered your question already, man. I answered it. If you guys ask the same question more than 25 times, I have to put you on timeout. I'm sorry. Warriors come to play. Someone said Matt Bomer is short. Yeah, I like my Superman to be slightly tall. I need a tall Superman. All right. I'm trying to keep up on your questions, guys. Where am I at in this chat? Oh, there's a lot of people watching. Thank you, guys. All right, the next one comes from Manortays124. Favorite Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy movies? For Tom Hardy, anything but Mad Max Fury Road, because everyone should already love that. Yeah, and I don't think that's one of his better performances, to be honest. And if you really watch Mad Max Fury Road, Tom Hardy in that movie is more mumbly than ever before. So DiCaprio, who's like one of my favorite actors, I would probably say one of his most underrated is going to be Blood Diamond. Next, I would say Catch Me If You Can is one of my favorite DiCaprio performances. I sort of relate to that movie a little bit. As far as Tom Hardy goes, I think Warrior would probably be one of his best performances. Yeah, I'll go with those ones. Ballooned Raccoon. Does life find a way? You know, I hope it does. I hope it does. Except now we don't have dinosaurs trying to eat us. We have something else, infection trying to kill us. So I think life will find a way. I really do. Mike McCarty, have a monster on me. Love you, bud. Good night. Well, thanks, Mike, and I appreciate it. And I'll drink to that right now. And good night. Damn5271. Man, you're killing it with these super chats. Thank you so much, man. John, you are the gateway drug to our lives, and we love you.
Well, I love you too. Don't get scared now.
Thank you, Damn. I appreciate that, man. I'd like to be your gateway drug into another reality, another dimension that's much more magical and mystical than this current one. I will tell you that. All right, let me catch up with some of these new questions here. My chat is, by the way, is really laggy over here. It's kind of going a little bit slow, so bear with me. I'm sorry. Please forgive my sins against humanity. There's 367 of you here in the live chat, so thank you. Is 5'9" too short? How tall are you? I'm 6 foot. I'm like this. If you go to 6 foot, I'm this under 6 foot. But if I wear shoes, I'm above 6 foot, right above the line. So yeah, 5'9" for Superman might be a little bit too short, but hey, then again, it wasn't too short for Bane when Tom Hardy played Bane, so anything's possible with some movie magic. John, do you want to drop a chainsaw on a... You know I can't read that, but yes, I do.
Try getting a reservation at Dorsia now. How tall is Chris? He's a giant, man. Chris is a giant tree. He just waves in the wind. Chris is 6'4". Chris is 6'4", yeah. Liam Hemsworth for Superman. No, Liam Hemsworth as nothing. Nothing. He can't act. Did you see Uncut Gems? That movie is like having a heart attack. It is like having heart palpitations. Speaking of Uncut Gems, I have it. I know I do. Huh. Well, I did have it. Yeah, I have Uncut Gems over there. By the way, I said this before, but I'm going to talk about all these movies in a big Blu-ray update video. Yeah, I enjoyed Uncut Gems. Have you seen Duel? I have seen Duel, the Steven Spielberg made-for-TV movie, right? Yeah, I did. I did see it. It's kind of like Jaws, but with a semi. The Witness or The Fugitive? Probably The Fugitive. Tommy Wiseau's Batman? Hi, Joker. Do you think Robin likes to cheat like the Penguin does? Manor Tays 124. Thanks for another great live stream, John. We love you. Go put Nightcrawler on and get some sleep. And always remember, 3 ice cubes, no more, no less. Well, thank you. And I appreciate that, Tanner Mays. Or Manor Tays. I got your name mixed up. Manor Tays. Thanks, man. My new saying is 3 squirts of Germex, no more, no less. That's the new saying. So, Arnie is Superman. Yeah, I agree. People are very strange these days. Yeah, they are. And speaking of strange, I read recently that the new Stranger Things production is shutting down and being delayed. So that'll probably delay the show from coming out. Everything will be delayed. Essentially, 2020 is a canceled year where everything great that we were looking forward to is no longer happening, and I'm disappointed. 2020 is the year of disappointment. We're off to a terrible start. All right, Russ Rogers, choose a movie for me to watch right now. The Fly, Repo Man, The Death of Rainy Dog, Wild Things, The Host, Saturday Night Fever, Clerks 2. Pick one for me, John. I would probably... The Fly is probably not a good one to watch. That looks like... It's just like, here's what happens if bad things happen. And you transform and start puking on all the food that you eat. I'd probably watch Clerks 2, man. I would go with a happy-go-lucky movie. I think we should all be watching happy, fun movies that just make you forget. They give you a little bit of that escapism, and you get to leave reality for a few hours. Watch those movies. All right. Someone just told me Hook looks amazing in 4K. I always agreed. I knew that. All right. Luis Suarez. I don't have hand sanitizer. Will baby oil work? The joke would be yes. Baby oil will... It'll give you that glide and that shimmer that'll scare off CV. But no, in all reality, don't do that. Do not do that. But if you want to mix a little hand sanitizer with baby oil, I think you get the best of both worlds. So thanks, man. All right, checking some old super chats here. Don't want to miss any. All right. Ballooned Raccoon. How many members of the Bat family do you think we'll see in the Batman, Nightwing, Batgirl / Robin? I don't know. I think it would be smart to at least reference, if they're going to have Nightwing or Robin in the movie, at least reference them, have some kind of inclusion of them. They don't actually have to be those characters just yet, but to actually maybe warm audiences up to having a Nightwing, I think would be a really good idea down the road. I think we'll probably see a lot of references to his, the Bruce Wayne's parents. I think Alfred will probably obviously be in the movie, or at least I hope he is. And I hope it's that really cool version of Alfred, the Green Beret version of Alfred, who sort of teaches young Bruce Wayne his combat and training skills. That's sort of the version I've been waiting to really see. Damn5271. Well, 2020 still has the Flick Pick. Watch, like, sub, and join the Flickilution. Night, John. Well, thanks, Damn5271, man. Thanks for all your support on the live stream, man. I do appreciate it. I'm still here, guys. Yeah, I'm not delayed. I'm not canceled. I'll be here week in, week out. And then I get corona. Oh, I don't want to say. Oh, I almost said it. Don't demonetize me, YouTube, please. I love you. So, I'll be here unless I get it, and then in which case I'll probably be delayed for a while too. Or I'll be dead. I don't know. I'll be here every week, guys. So take comfort in that, or let that frighten you deep down inside. But thanks, damn, and good night. All right, guys, I'm almost out of energy drinks. I think we're going to have like 2 more minutes left to answer as many questions as you guys can send my way. And so type them out right now. Go for it. All right. I just had to put somebody in a timeout because they asked the same question 87 times, and I already answered it. Thoughts on The Last Airbender, the show. I watched part of the first season. It's okay. It wasn't one of my favorite shows. I have all my friends like it, though. Hi, I am Weetah Did. That's the weirdest name I've ever seen. But thank you for the super chat, man. Hi, John. Are you looking forward to Antlers? Yeah, it looked like a fun sort of like B-rate horror film. I was looking forward to it. Is it delayed? I feel like it's probably delayed by this point. I was going to check it out. I was also going to check out Bloodshot and The Hunt, but then I just was like, I don't care. I don't feel like watching them, so I didn't. And I'll give a shout out to my friend, the Crazy Jason, who hasn't made a new video in 3 years, which, by the way, I always try to tell him to make a new one, but you should make more videos, Crazy Jason, or join me on one of my upcoming live streams or my Patreon podcasts. But yeah, shout out to the Crazy Jason. Make a video. It's been 3 years. Come on, man. Mr. Drown 73. Thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Are you excited for the Mortal Kombat movie? Absolutely, cannot wait. Mortal Kombat's my favorite video game movie of all time, and I'm hoping this new movie actually makes a good video game movie, and I think Mortal Kombat can be the gateway into good video game movies. Netflix recommendation, watch Outbreak on Netflix. No, don't watch that. I don't know. I didn't scroll through what was on Netflix, actually. I don't know everything that's on it right now. I don't know. Just go to Disney Plus and watch The Three Musketeers. That's what I'm telling everyone to do. Or you can watch Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome on Amazon Prime right now as well. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. I will just watch Goodfellas. There you go. Or watch Casino. I actually think Casino's the superior film. Balloon Raccoon. Thanks for the super chat. Honest thoughts on Nightmare scene in Batman v Superman. I can't stop watching it. Yeah, that's a great scene that sort of doesn't make any sense, but it's a great scene in the movie. I love that post-apocalyptic Batman, and I love that the one take fight sequence where he's fighting everyone and it looks really overly choreographed because there's one scene where he's like waiting for someone to punch him and they finally do. But I really love Nightmare Batman, and I like that scene. But then he wakes up from a dream, and then the Flash is there, and it's just like, why did you have this dream? Yeah, in the context of the film, it didn't make a lot of sense, but I really enjoy that scene. My favorite scene in that film is honestly the Batman warehouse fight scene. I think that's phenomenal. That was like watching a live action Batman Arkham game come to life. Night King 01, Sudden Death, or Time Cop are best Van Damme movies. I don't recall Sudden Death. Time Cop I do recall. You're right, Time Cop's probably his best movie where he has a mullet. Yeah. You ever heard of the app called Letterboxd? You should use it. Yeah, I just don't. It would take me too long to even start. Like, I don't have time to update every single movie I've ever seen on an app. I can't do it. Pretty much my letterbox is either YouTube, and also I do reactions about movies and trailers and old movies or new movies right after I see them on an app called Stardust. So if you want to follow the Flick Pick on Stardust, we'll go ahead and do it. That's where I post like my first reactions to everything. They're like 30-second reaction videos. Man or Taze, favorite scene in Man of Steel? I like when Superman and General Zod fight in the IHOP. Over Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruities. No, I am. There's a lot of. I remember I liked a lot of scenes in that movie. My favorite thing actually about the Man of Steel movie is honestly probably the Hans Zimmer score. Like, it gives me little chills. It's uplifting and epic at the same time. Yeah. But I did like the fight scenes at the end. A lot of people don't like it. They say there's too much destruction, but I say more destruction the better. Night King 01, best Die Hard copycat movie. Where do you even begin with that? There's too many. You have Air Force One. You have there's one I want to. It's just like Die Hard. I want to look it up so I don't forget it. Do you guys like how I said I was going to go 20 minutes ago and I never went? I don't want to miss it. Yes. Okay, you know what I'd probably say? I would probably say Speed is the best Die Hard-like movie. Yeah. Yeah, I'd go with Speed. Gotta go with Speed. All right, guys. I think John, you should watch. What was your favorite DVD crush? John, have you ever seen Bad Lieutenant 1992 with Harvey Keitel? That's the Harvey Keitel one. Yeah, I've seen it one time. Yes, I have. Oh God, these questions. Man of Steel sponsored by Sears. Yeah, it was sponsored by IHOP and Sears and like 2 other companies. Fall asleep on camera. I can do that right now if you guys really want to. I'll go live. I'll take my camera and my computer into my bedroom and I'll just do a 10-hour live stream of me sleeping. Oh man, that's awesome. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap up the live stream now. I hope I answered enough of your questions. I do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. Stay safe. Use the sanitizer. Stay indoors. Watch some movies. Thank you, Russ Rogers, for the questions and being a member here. And thank you guys all for the support and the great questions. And, I'm just glad I can come on here and we can hang out for a couple hours and talk about movies and forget about what's happening outside. It's as distracting as it is for you guys. It's also distracting for me, and it helps. And I love reading your questions here. It does
It's always a good time. So good night, guys. Be safe. And we will do more of these live streams more often. And look out for a very special update video over on the Flickpick channel. I'll probably make that tomorrow. I'll give you guys a lot of updates on some ideas and some new things I'm doing. And I have a lot of other videos I need to make. So no worries. Those are coming. And Manor Tays with the you guys are throwing in the last second super chats here. You're keeping me around. Well, I leave no man left behind. All right. Say the line from Independence Day. I gotta call my lawyer. I gotta call my lawyer before you go. I gotta call my brother. I gotta call my lawyer. I'll forget my lawyer. And then you have Jeff Goldblum's dad in the movie. David, you're a cable repairman. If they want HBO, they'll call you. I love it. And by the way, I love the speech that Bill Pullman gives in that movie. We will go into the night. We will go on. This is our Independence Day. That speech kind of applies to right now, except it's not in Independence Day. Team Card Games. Thanks for the super chat, Team Card Games. Do very much appreciate it, man. Thank you for that. Thank you. Do you answer Streamlab questions? I do answer Streamlab questions, but I did not see any Streamlab questions. But I will double check and make sure I didn't miss any from you guys. Let me double check, because I have a problem with missing those. And by the way, Streamlabs is always better because YouTube takes like 30% of everything. They suck, man. But yeah, I do answer Streamlab questions. Actually, I have the Streamlab thing pulled up right now. If you guys go through Streamlab, I have a really cool GIF that pops up of Over the Top. Oh, Jesus. A real-life zombie apocalypse. It kind of is. It really is, isn't it? It's as close as it will probably get in our lifetime. It's just... It might as well be, right? It's kind of the same difference, except zombies are less contagious. You ever think about it like that? Like, the zombie has to eat you and bite you, but you can still, like, go to the movie theater. You can go to the gym, right? But now we can't even go outside. It's scary. John, thank you for your service. Well, thank you. Crazy Jason, my son David. See ya, John. I gotta call my mother. Yeah. Good night, John. Yeah, good night to all of you guys. I appreciate it. And I'm checking one more. Someone keeps telling me they're gonna put something here, and I don't want to miss it. Just double checking, guys. Just double checking. Okay. I think I'm about to shut up now. Hang on. Yeah, the chat's all wonky. It's all messed up, and I can't even find where I'm at right now. I'm lost. Help me. Okay. There we are. Okay, sorry, guys. Good night, Sweet Prince. Thank you, Crazy Jason. Lights, Camera Jackson versus Doug Walker. Good night. Yeah, good night, guys. Balloon Raccoon, thank you for the super chat, Balloon Raccoon. Tyler Van, thoughts on Lost. I know how it ends. I didn't waste my life watching it. I'm so happy I didn't. I'm sorry for everyone who did. Just like, what a crappy way to end a series. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for all the questions. I'm going to end it here. I do appreciate it, guys. No more super chats because I don't want to miss any. Russ Rogers, thank you once again. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Leave your thoughts, your opinions down below. Give this live stream a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Or even if you didn't enjoy it, just leave it a thumbs up anyway. And as always, guys, I'll see you next time. Stay safe. And make sure you rub the hand sanitizer all over your body. Bye-bye.